Hi, my name is Raph. I am playing Grinner, a barbarian human running from his past as an ex-soldier, now turned mercenary.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dhampire. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tithla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore, the Satyr Druid, who's a kind of a charismatic druid who's unwillingly taken Tithla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar Wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. Hello!
Hey!
Hello! Welcome back to the Lost Archives, everybody. Welcome to Curse of Strahd. We're very excited to be jumping into this episode. Now, I should get out of the way. Unfortunately, Jacob's not going to be joining us tonight, which means the character of Tithla will be under my control. So I'll be managing Tithla for this session. Unfortunately, Jacob wasn't feeling too well, so he will be joining us later. Not tonight, I should say. Not later as in tonight. Later as in next week. So yeah, I'll look after Tithla in the time being. In terms of what was that? Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, look after Tithla.
Look after Tithla. In other news, there will be coming out very shortly on the YouTube channel a playthrough of Pokemon Violet. Sometimes with some fellow streamers, sometimes by myself, depending on who was available at certain points in time. The multiplayer feature is absolutely amazing when you are able to jump on with other people. The graphics, if you had to give it a score, I know you've played a bit of it, if you had to give it a score out of 10, with 10 being, let's say, like God of War Ragnarok, and then 1 being, I don't know, a potato.
Yeah, I'll give it a PS1.
PS1, yeah. It's like a 3. It's amazing to be playing an open world Pokemon game. It is soul crushing when it looks like someone's literally playing like a flip book of stop motion animation in the background for some of the characters. Dear God.
You don't want your shins to clip through the stairs in the opening scene as you walk down for the first time?
No, and I also don't want to fall through the world, which has happened to me and has happened to another person who's often on here as well. I think it was it Ali or Archie? Someone else who plays, who's been on the stream a couple of times and joins us, and I think they were saying that they actually fell through the world and had to reload a save. I also had a game crash. I was creating a living dex in my Pokemon boxes. I just finished organizing all of the Pokemon that I'd caught into the living dex format. I closed out of my boxes, the game crashed, and that was about an hour of my life gone. I was I was a bit salty, I'll be honest. I said words that you hear on the high seas in 18th century England and not anywhere else. And Arr, yar. And then I moved on and didn't play for 5-10 minutes until I sort of got over it and came back. I had to go have a lie down for a minute. I was so angry, which hasn't happened in a long time. But it was just that moment of like, it closes, like an unexpected error has occurred. And I'm just like, fuck. Yeah, so that was fun. But no, that will be coming out soon. Unfortunately, I don't have that recorded, the footage of me rage quitting. I can make it again if you're really keen to see it. Let me know in the chat. I'm more than happy to repeat it. I'll just create the living dex again, and I'm sure it'll crash it out. But yeah, so that'll be coming soon. I think the first episode's dropping tomorrow morning, and then I'll be dropping them every second day after that. So there's lots of stuff to see. Thank you for those of you who joined us on Saturday for the 2-hour stream of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet with Ali, who came and played with us for a little bit. We tried to get through some of the main areas. We ended up getting a bit lost. We then ignored the main quest, fell down a cliff into the desert. I got destroyed by a whole bunch of like ridiculously high-level Pokemon, and then we just gave up on the main story. Have you got a story, Has? Same thing?
No, yeah, just much the same happened to me and Rory when we were playing Tom.
Yeah.
They just stumbled into an area, then all of a sudden they're level 40 and you're dead.
Yeah. I think it was a Toxapex, which is one of the new, I think it's from the Galar region, the previous one that's the
No, the Toxapex is from...
I'm thinking of Toxtricity, sorry.
Yeah, that's from.
Yeah,
that's from
Toxtricity. I wandered into a cave and I was like, and there was a kid out the front of the cave. To the credit of the game, I was warned. A kid out the front of the cave was like, "There's lots of strong Pokemon in there," and I was like, "Shut up, little child! I just defeated you with your bug type Pokemon. Like everything's a strong Pokemon to you, mate. Like a stiff breeze is going to take you out." So I wandered into the cave. He was right. I should have been warned. Toxtricity
the hubris.
Yeah, he just swept me, and I could not escape, and I didn't have a Pokédoll, and I just got swept, and I sort of like restarted back, and I was like, okay, maybe I should take the hints that the game is handing me sometimes. Like, yes, I know it's for children, and children follow these hints, but sometimes I need my handheld, and I need to be told, don't do this more strongly than that. But yeah, so I am really enjoying it, but good God, there are some hilarious problems with it every so often. Yeah. Did anyone have a RPG story they wanted to share? Sorry if you don't. I've always got a whole bank of RPG stories I'm keen to share. Jared,
I actually had
thinking?
I had my little story I mentioned the other day on the other stream on the Wednesday. So I'll just run through it, I guess.
Yes, I remember.
So
You
basically,
described this as a nightmare story, didn't you?
it wasn't like a nightmare story. It was just like a bad DM, pretty much. So this is like a game where me and my friends were playing. Like, this is like Andrew and all that, and Jesse actually, Owen.
Wait, hang on. Am I the DM in this story?
No.
Okay,
no,
just
no.
checking, because that would have been pretty funny.
After you went to Queensland.
After I moved to Brizzy.
So basically, Andrew put the feelers out for a new DM, and we got a new DM, and it was very, very strict. He gave us a full rundown of his world, and then he asked us all to come up with quite a detailed backstory and where we fit in. And he was just asking so much detail, more than I've ever been asked for. I made my backstory, and he picked it apart. He's like, "No, you can't do that because that doesn't exist in this world." And then you got to do this. Oh, you'd be, and then he picked it apart. But I was lucky. My girlfriend completely new to D&D, and this guy, she was a bit worried. She was a bit worried about it, and he sent paragraphs upon paragraphs of all this D&D related stuff. And my girlfriend just got buried, and she's like,
"Yeah,
what? Help!" So anyway, that was
you played this for fun.
Yeah, so it was a red flag, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not liking that." But Andrew is just like, "Look, it'll be fine. We'll play." So I'm like, "Cool, let's jump in." So we start playing. First session, one of the characters is a wizard, and we were walking across a stream that had some water, and he was like, "Okay, roll dex checks." So
to not slip in the water.
Yep. The wizard failed. Yep. It was just like a light stream. There was nothing to it. And then the wizard fell over, and he rolled 2d6, and she got knocked out. This is the first roll of the whole campaign. He didn't roll a 1d4 or take 1 damage. He rolled 2d6.
But can we?
And he doesn't. And he showed his rolls too, so we know he did it.
Yeah.
And I was just flabbergasted. I was like, okay. So there was a bunch of all these little things that added up, but one of the ones that took the cake for me was we exited out of the city, and we're walking along this this sort of just like a normal road, sort of main road. And then we come to this area. It's like a circle, and it has all these hands that are sticking out of the ground. They have no fingers and thumbs, and they're all dead hands.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, that's a mystery. Let's
investigate.
Weird.
Yeah.
So let's investigate. So we spent about an hour and a half doing all these different tests and rolling really well on some skill checks.
Yeah.
And every time was, you don't find anything.
I can see where this is going.
For an hour and a half, we did this, and we're like, one of the guys was digging and we did so many skill checks, Arcana, Investigation, bunch of different spells, nothing. Anyway, so we get to the next one. There's and this happens another 2 times where these weird circles pop up, and nothing. We get to the town, and basically the town's like, "Oh, there's necromancers in the area." That was his little plot point to say, "Hey, there's necromancers," but there was no.
That hadn't been established yet.
But he didn't. But he didn't do anything with
yet.
it. He didn't see the opportunity to give you more
with it.
information. Yeah. So that's just.
We just wasted 2 hours trying to figure out what was actually going on. Anyway, so we get sent to this area, this forest, and apparently there's a necromancer in this forest. So I'm like, okay, this is how it's tying in. And we get there, and we meet someone who looks more like a druid. He explained like a druid, and didn't tell us it was the necromancer, because it was, but we didn't know that. It looked like a druid. And we went into his little forest, and it was like a fairy tale forest.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Okay.
And
everyone knows that's how
like,
necromancers live.
Yep. And all these weird little like effects happen. So if there was like a rock we found that was magical and we touched it, or if you stabbed it, then like later on something would happen to you. It was like a very fairy tale sort of magic forest. And we come back and loop around.
Yeah. How did they stab a rock?
And then the druid is like, oh, it was hard to explain like everything that sort of because we also investigated that for a while, and because he really made like a point about it. Anywho, so we went back to the druid, and he's like, oh no, that's actually the necromancer. And we're just sitting there like, but where's all like his undead minions? Why are we in like a fairy tale forest? Why does he look like a druid?
And also, has he actually performed any necromancy? I mean, we haven't observed any. So has he?
He was doing like nature stuff.
Is he a necromancer then? Like, I would argue that a necromancer is someone who performs necromantic magic, but that's just me.
But anyway, so
God.
We ended up sort of agreeing as a party. We're like, look, we're not actually enjoying this. And then Andrew and Jesse were basically just like, look, they were like, oh, sorry, we're so busy with work, like we'll try and organize this another time, and then we just let it die out.
Perfect. And now he's listening, and he's here tonight. No. Our guest character, our guest DM. I'm going to step aside. He's taken over Curse of Strahd. No. Wow. No. There's a lot wrong with that. The biggest one for me is not working with your players. Like, that's a DM who has a story in mind, and you are just the conduits for him to tell a story. It's the complete opposite.
Go write a book.
It's the complete opposite of how you should run D&D. DMs out there, it's not about you. It's about the players. It's the best message I can give.
It's about everyone. I mean, the golden rule is you put something in front of the players, they're going to interact with it because you made a point of it.
Yes,
exactly.
That's right. If you describe
make it have a point.
But even if you didn't think of a point and they're interacting with it, amazing. That's so cool. Work with them on that. They're doing that. They're reaching out to you, offering you a free plot hook. Mate, fucking take that hint. Work with them. Yeah, that's yeah.
There was 2 other little like horror scenarios with this dude as well. Oh, actually no, I think there's one. Like, so I was talking to one of the guys who was playing with our group, and he's in another group now with that same DM. They've just finished their campaign like the other week. Before they went into the campaign, 2 players had already the finale. 2 players had died before the finale.
Yeah.
So one already had a character ready to go, but the other guy had to like sit there for a couple hours and make a character for the finale.
Okay.
So anyway, they get to the finale, and there's 2 people left. A wizard does a surprise fireball on them, kills one player's character outright at the start of the big session, and then the wizard that's remaining has basically a wizard off with the other wizard, and apparently everything's going really well. He's doing really good, and he destroyed the arcane focus of the other wizard.
Great.
And he's
Can't
like,
cast
okay,
spells
I think
anymore.
I've got this. Suddenly, the other wizard decides to turn. Suddenly, the DM's like, "Oh, he turns into an ice elemental." And he's like, "What? But how?" And anyway, so whatever. And then the ice elemental goes in, and then just melees him for 60 damage and outright just kills him. And guess what? That's the finale. Half an hour in, he's like, he did a little epilogue, and that's it. The other 2 players who were sitting there for half an hour didn't even get to play.
Yeah, that's someone who had a story to tell and did not care how many players he had to drag along behind him to get there. It's just
the old competitive D&D.
Oh dear. Needless to say, we don't encourage that kind of D&D gameplay. That's how you turn people off this hobby and game forever. Shit like that. Don't do it.
Yourself, I will crush you like a worm in this session, Owen.
I mean,
I don't care. You have omnipotent god power. Me and my 11 HP bear are coming for you.
Look, absolutely, yeah. I mean, and after I went to the trouble of making you a custom wild shape just for you, you're gonna try and break me with my own creation. Seems fair. No, look, the message takeaway from that is that you never say no to your players. Now, there's a caveat to that. Obviously, there are times when the DM you have to be the arbiter of the rules, but you never outright say no to people. It's always a yes, but. It's the same rule with improvisation and with drama. It's the same rule for D&D. I mean, there are times when you do have to say no, and I shouldn't say never say no. But
say them forward.
Yes, save the no's for when you need them. For the most part, work with your players. It's collaborative. It's right. Competitive D&D is not a thing. That's not D&D. That's just you being a bully.
He really had like a sort of competitive like DM sort of feel, because even one of the players, like the paladin was 18 armor class, he cast like Shield of Faith on himself to make him have 20 armor class.
Yeah.
And then this guy had like 15, 20 people like attacking the party.
Yeah.
He liked the bigger encounters, and he was like, oh, okay, well, maybe half go through. And he's like, no, like I have 20 armor class, like roll, because the chances are, these are just grunts. Like
not
only maybe
50%.
2 or 3 might actually get through.
Yeah.
And he's like,
even less.
he really tried to sort of go, oh, look, we'll just keep the combat flowing, and they half go through. And he's like, no, like the player actually like put his foot in the mud. Like this DM just did things like that.
I think from now on, anyone who's like that, we don't call them a DM. They are a conductor, because they're on a train and they're just powering through. They do not care who's in the tracks, how many, they're just choo-choo on their train. They are just, that's a railroad DM if I've ever heard one. So don't be like that guy.
I should have known, like the first.
Can I tell you the big red flag for me was a DM telling you, no, you have to fit into my world. Like that's a pretty, for me, that's a glaring red flag. And I hope for you guys coming into my homebrew world that was absolutely not the experience you went through.
No, not at all. Like
Jesus
this guy had
Christ.
Like a crazy criteria before you could even play. Like,
dude, write a book. Raph said it best. Write a fucking book.
And then had enchanted forest druid necromancer.
Yeah, a necromancer who never cast necromancy. That's just confused. Yeah, whatever.
Actually,
really
next week I have a story that's almost the exact opposite of this guy, and it's just as bad.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Oh, this will be great. Well, stay tuned for next week with our next D&D story.
Oh, no, I have another story now, too.
Nah, save him. No, save him. And if you're listening...
Another day.
For you guys listening, please share your D&D stories. It doesn't have to be about bad experiences. It can be about a really cool character moment that happened, a really cool clutch moment with some spell casting, or maybe a massive finale to a year-long campaign that was incredibly satisfying to finish as a group. Share those experiences with them. I'll read them out at the beginning of the stream, as long as they are semi-safe for work. Swearing's fine, but let's keep it M-rated, shall we say, for the Australian viewers. keep it like parental guidance not necessary, but only just.
Australian M or like international M?
International M, because Australian M can sometimes be a bit intense, but then also sometimes really permissive, and you never know which it's going to be. So let's say international M. Alrighty, let's get into our Curse of Strahd campaign. Thank you for that story, Jared. That's a horror story for D&D. Good lord. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. R.I.P. Alrighty. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the world of Nostea, has just recruited some new members for a specialised team. Jonor the Wizard, Tithla the Ranger, Luther the Fighter, Grinner the Barbarian, and Theodore the Druid have all signed on with the guild to investigate a puzzling mystery. The long-ruined town of Dowbridge is now the site of several disappearances, including 2 full adventuring parties. After arriving in the ruined town, the group tracked the missing adventurers into a mysterious manor which appeared out of the mists like magic. Once inside, however, our heroes have found themselves trapped. After exploring the lower floors and finding evidence of the missing adventurers, the team headed upstairs and soon found themselves experiencing more and more haunting and creepy signs. After fighting off a suit of animated armour, the group encountered the ghost of the children's nursemaid, Margaret, who seemed a little off. After Tithla accidentally referred to her baby as being dead, the ghost transformed into a spectre and attacked, draining Tithla of her life force. The ghost, however, seemed horrified by her actions, attacking what to her eyes looked like a child, and immediately backed off. The group were able to then talk their way around further violence and headed upstairs to explore the attic. Once there, they discovered the room once occupied by the children Rose and Thorn locked. Breaking down the door revealed the remains of the 2 children and their ghosts, who seemed remarkably coherent. The children then reunited with Margaret while the party discovered the hanged body of Gustav Durst, the father and master of the house, in the bedroom. Deciding to take a rest before heading into the basement, Jonor discovered an affinity for the strange fortune-telling Drocker deck the party had found downstairs, and the group all leveled up to level 2. Heading down into the basement, the groups interred the bodies of Margaret, Rose, and Thorn into the crypts before heading down further to explore what looks to be an old pantry. As Theodore opened the door to examine the remains of the food stores and larder, a worm-like creature that had been consuming the remains of the food behind the door burrowed its way to the surface of a barrel of grain and attacked. We jump in at the beginning of initiative. We're actually going to be jumping straight back in as you all roll initiative because I need to know what things are happening in what order. As the carrion crawler, this maggot-like creature, emerges from inside of a barrel of grain. Tentacles on the front whipping forwards, this sharp beak with mandibles clenching down as it launches itself forwards at poor old Theodore. And it makes a noise remarkably similar to a cat. So, Grinner, actually, I'll just take off the extras because it looks like it's double rolled for some of you. Theodore's is correct. I'll take off Jonor 4. Ooh. That's right.
Oh,
just fix that
Nailed
up.
it.
I'll fix up Tithla in a second. Oh, sorry, Jonor, I just deleted you because it automatically moved you behind. Let me just quickly get back on. Yours was a 4. Grinner, what was yours? Yours was a 16. Yours is correct. Right. Theodore, 15. Luther, 21. Yep, they're all correct. Perfect. All right, I'll just add Tithla and the carrion crawler, and then we'll be good to go.
Please tell me the carrion crawler is less than 15.
What was that, sorry?
So please tell me the carrion crawler is less than 15.
Oh, it's 16. It's 16.
16. Sorry, buddy.
Really regret the -1 in dexterity now.
Yeah, that makes sense. And let me just roll for Tithla really quickly as well. So as this happens, as you are looking through the stores of food, Theodore, you open up the door, you begin looking over the barrels, and you can see that there's lots of food here. It's just, it looks like it's been abandoned and rotted, but actually, given how old you now know this manor to be, it is surprising that it is even as preserved as it looks to be. You can see that the barrels and the cold of this downstairs basement area seem to have somewhat preserved some of the food stocks. There probably is some salvageable food in here. But unfortunately, before you are able to discover what those food stocks are, this creature bursts out. So first up off the rank is actually this creature, which gets a surprise round, as you did not know it was there. Sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
That is rough.
Just sort these descending. And then the good news is it's Luther off the bat. The carrion crawler, as it bursts out of the barrel, it begins scuttering around on the floor. It bites at your ankle, Theodore, as it moves to run through and out the other side. Does a...
You know it does.
It might not. 14?
Yeah, 100%.
Does it? Okay.
Sure, I'm close.
12.
12.
14.
In leather armor.
14 to hit. You take 6 points of piercing damage as it severs an artery on your leg, biting through. Because I think, percentage-wise of your health, that's like 50%.
A bit over, yeah.
Yeah. So as it
Roughly
scuttles. Thank you for that. As it scuttles between your legs, it chomps down and severs one of these arteries as it moves through. It then uses its tentacles and whips at poor old Grinner. Grinner.
Ooh.
A natural 1 for a total of 9. Doesn't hit,
that hits. No.
Natural 1 never hits. As the tentacles whip through, the blood that's now coating its mandibles from cutting through Theodore's femoral artery kind of block its sight a little bit, and as its tentacles try and move the blood off its these sort of fly-like eyes. That's what I'm looking for. Compound eyes. Thank you. Compound eyes. It misses this attack on Grinner. Which works out quite nicely. Luther, you're actually in range as this thing scuttles through, attacks Theodore, and then goes after Grinner. You're the next one to react as you see this thing scuttling across the ground.
Yes, okay. I'm going to move in. I'm going to move here. Oh no, I don't know if Theodore can take another hit.
I'm good.
I haven't done any archery. I think I have to go in again.
You keep finding yourself really close to spicy combat. You move out of range?
I've moved there for now. I'm just trying to think because the Karen.
No, it wasn't that.
Oh.
It was up the top.
I'm gonna go
Was
diagonal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I had on my screen you were there, but that's okay. That's right then. If you weren't.
Oh no, I'm here.
No, that's okay then. That's all right. Sorry, carry on.
Okay.
Carrion.
So. Damn. Because the carrion crawl is going to go before Theodore.
Before Theodore.
And how much HP have you got? Like a little bit mattery, but you
he's
already
about
look
half
bloody,
health.
don't you?
Yeah.
Roughly half of Theodore left.
Well, you
that
watch
took
as Theodore ducks down and grabs at his now profusely bleeding leg, as clearly something integral and vital to his life has been severed, and he's just grabbing at this leg, trying to stem the bleeding. Tithla probably calls out like, "No!" as she sees you get hit by this.
I have to run in. Damn it! I'm gonna get my 2 daggers out again, even though I have a heavy crossbow. And I'm gonna run in. I'm gonna try and sort of shout, get its attention, like, "Hey, over here," sort of thing. Like, try and basically like move its attention more towards me, maybe Grinner, and completely ignoring Theodore.
Yep.
So I'm gonna try that.
Perfect.
And then I'm gonna take a dagger attack. 14 to hit.
14 to hit. 14 does hit. Definitely.
Whew. Okay.
5
piercing damage. And then I'm going to do another dagger attack with my bonus action. Everything's fine, just obviously take the 3 dex off of the damage.
Yes.
11 will miss, I take it.
Yeah, that will miss. As you strike down with the first dagger, you literally just cut off one of these tentacles, and there's the creature rears back, blood sort of squirting from inside this area. You go for the next strike, but it just misses. It strikes empty air as you go down to hit this thing.
Actually, I would have got a +2 to that. Does that matter?
Because the second attack has already added a 5.
Oh, because
you
of the
actually
flanking,
rolled a
because there's like
6.
3 people are surrounding it.
Yeah. But for your offhand attack, right? Is it the same? Oh no, it's damage that's different. That's right. Yeah,
It's damage.
So
Would
+2 to
13
hit. 13 would hit. Apologies. 13 definitely would hit.
So that's actually 3 damage though, not 6.
In that case, then I will mark that off right now. So 6 damage.
No.
Sorry, 3 damage. 3
damage
damage because it's, because you take the 3 off.
I just rolled like normal, but I took 3 off because it's only the damage that's affected.
Awesome. Yeah, as the dagger strike, which you think is going to miss, just catches the inside of the chitinous exoskeleton and cuts this little crack through the exoskeleton, this natural armor. Nicely. Anything else on your turn?
Yeah, so basically stab, and I'm just using my free action to sort of try and draw its attention to me.
Yeah. Do you want to make me a intimidation? Yeah, I'd say probably an intimidation check. Or maybe persuasion I'd allow. Intimidation or persuasion.
Persuading it to attack you.
More so because I can't think of a thing to be like, I'm so weak and pathetic, don't hit me.
It doesn't even matter, it's all -1.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 6. Damn.
6. As you sort of like this thing, it sort of rears up and doesn't seem to be too affected by your attempts to intimidate. Alrighty, Tithla. Now, I'll obviously be controlling Tithla while Jacob is away. Tithla is not a huge fan of seeing Theodore getting hurt, nor is she a huge fan of this creature. Tithla is going to run up 5, 10, 15, 20. She's going to run round beside Grinner, place her hand upon you, Theodore, and go, "Yeah, it's okay." Hang on, what does Jacob sound like?
That was pretty good.
It's yeah.
It's okay. It's okay, Theodore. I'll help you. And she's going to cast Cure Wounds for 4 hit points.
Hey, my girl.
And then she is going to, that's her action. As her bonus action, she might use... She's going to use the disengage action. She's going to use her Goblin Nimble Escape to then get out of there. She's going to actually rush in, help you out, and then disengage and run over to the corner and then get her crossbow ready. As she ducks under between your legs, Grinner, sort of like moving very quickly and very dexterously between you, she pulls out the crossbow, takes aim, and then looks down the sights of this creature ready to fire when it's her next turn. Grinner, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
How big is this thing again? It's quite little, isn't it?
So the carrion crawler is reasonably large, actually. It's not. It's about the same size as Tithla. I'll chuck a picture of it in the chat so that you can see it. It's almost like a maggoty-like creature, long worm-like body with tiny little legs, 3 sets of 3 legs, almost looks like a millipede or a centipede, with this large chitinous exoskeleton along the top, this sort of sickly yellow color. Compound black eyes in a sort of half crescent moon shape on its head, and then a series of tendrils coming out from its mouth, pulling in towards these central mandibles that resemble quite closely, almost teeth, but made of that same chitinous material.
So I'm gonna Do I still have that helmet on my wrist?
I'd say probably you've got rid of that by now.
Yeah, I probably would have taken it off after the sleep.
But the room you're in is it's an old, decrepit dining room. I mean, you're standing right next to a table with legs. If you wanted to just...
Is there a old champagne bottle on the table, something like that?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, I'd say there's an old glass bottle on the table. Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna grab that and smack it as hard as I can over the head.
Okay, amazing. So you can use the small improvised weapon, which I think is on your character sheet.
It will be attack small. I've got simple improvised weapon. Is that what you mean?
Yes, thank you. Simple improvised weapon. Yes. 17's going to hit, absolutely, as you just smash down with this bottle. This will be bludgeoning damage. And then after this, I'm going to roll a percentage dice to see if it breaks, and then it'll become slashing damage.
That's having a hissy fit. There we go.
5 bludgeoning damage. Nice. As you crack this thing across the head, could you roll me a percentile dice, please, Raph? The easiest way to do it is just through roll 20 with the dice roll on the side. You just roll 2.
That's the D100?
Yes, exactly right. I just want to see if I'm going to give this I'm probably going to say, I was going to say 60% chance to break. 27. The bottle smashes. You're now holding a jagged, half-broken bottle in your hands that you can now use to fucking shiv if you want. So lovely. I'd say piercing or slashing, your choice from here on out.
Great. And then with my Tavern Brawler feat, I'm going to grab it by the throat with my other hand in a grapple and try and lift it off the ground.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Yeah, so roll me I think it's a strength to hit, essentially, for grapple, if I remember correctly. Let me just double check. Yes, it's a special attack that you can do. Yes, that's exactly right. Use the action to make a special melee attack, so a d20 plus your strength check, plus your strength score.
Strength. Ooh, not ideal.
So not a save. It's basically making an athletics check essentially. So what's your athletics?
That's a +5, so that would have been...
Oh, it's the same. It's exactly the same. Exactly the same. It will make a contested check to see if it can outmaneuver you, as it's going to use its strength as well. 11 was yours. It rolls a 5. As you basically just grab this thing and lift it off the ground, from its back, it can't actually get to you because of the way its plates interlock. It can't bend over on itself, and so it's going... It's chittering away with this, from these mandibles, making this horrific crunching noise, but it can't actually get to you from where it is. And as you hold it up in the air, its movement becomes 0.
Brilliant. That's me done.
Fantastico.
Oh, actually, if I try to move with it, does it still get an attack of opportunity for anything near it?
So when you're grappling to pull away, no. And these guys don't get an attack of opportunity against it. So it works both ways.
Sweet. All right, awesome. I'm going to... take it down towards the hallway that we haven't seen, still in proximity with Luther, but away from Theodore. So I'm going to stand here
and move it there.
Want it, there.
Yeah. So Grinner, you just begin walking forwards, not very far at all. You only move about 5 feet, 10 feet as you move this thing. That uses up 20 feet of your movement, that 10 foot of movement, as you pull this thing towards the lower section of the hallway, taking it down towards this other section you haven't explored. The stonework here heading down towards the south, the ground around here you can see is littered with the remains of food, and it seems to be leading a bit of a disgusting trail heading towards the south. Yeah. Alrighty. The carrion crawler is going to try and make an attack because it does not like being held. It's going to use its tentacles against you, Luther, and then it's going to make its bite against you... no, it's going to be both against Grinner, actually, because Grinner's grappled it. Grinner, I'm guessing a 19 hits you.
That hits, yeah.
You take 3 points of poison damage. As these tentacles whip across you, the cut that they make across your face stings, and you can feel something in them begin to burn against your skin. Could you please roll me a Constitution saving throw?
I certainly can.
Just edit Hazard's camera back down, because it's currently looking a bit weird again.
Am I lilting to the side again?
It's alright. I can easily fix you up. Got the power.
Fix me in post.
Fix you. They all say they can fix him. What was your Constitution save? 10.
10, yeah.
That is not so hot, unfortunately.
No, rolling terrible.
That is going to be a fail. You are poisoned for 1 minute. You have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. And you are also paralyzed right now until your next turn, when you can re-roll the con save. And if you pass, you're no longer paralyzed. So Grinner, as you grab this thing and start pulling it away, this tentacle cuts across your cheek, and as you feel it take hold, something is very wrong. As you feel your muscles begin to seize, you go to cry out, and your voice just dies in your throat as you are held there, locked in place, unable to move any part of your body as this creature begins trying to claw at you.
But I've locked it in place too, yeah?
Exactly right. So it's going to try and make a strength check. If you had been paralyzed and not holding it, obviously it wouldn't have to worry about making the strength check, but it does, and it's going to make it against your same strength as previously, because whatever tension your muscles were under, that's staying in place, because that's how is it tonic-clonic, where both muscles are? I think it's a tonic-clonic. It's going to make a check. Sorry, this is getting into some... Don't worry about it. Medical tip. Don't worry about it. That is a 16. That is going to escape, unfortunately, as it basically just begins clawing away and moving through. You can't squeeze your hands to compensate for this thing and to keep it in place. Your hands are locked in the position they were in, and as it begins to get out, it just slips through your fingers and drops to the floor. It turns towards Luther and makes this very ominous, almost like a low growl as the plates under its throat begin to wrap together. Theodore, it is your turn.
Hey, all right. So I start to focusing and sort of glow with a little naturey glow as my muscles and bones begin to reshape as I transform into half bear, half wolf, half deer antler thing. What's the deer thing with the moose? Yeah.
And bear pig.
Yeah. And bear
so so when I created this creature, I did have in mind an elk.
That's the one I was thinking of.
That's the one you were thinking of. Hey, cool.
I just lost words for a minute.
I will put the artwork on the screen.
It should 100% be a moose.
Should be a moose. No, I'm using a moose for another one. So the creature that you turn into is a custom creature I've created for as this character for Theodore. It is a fey beast called a Baorn. This is a younger version of that. This is a Baornling. It's not fully grown.
Ooh.
I'm going to put it on screen right now. You should be able to see it coming up over the front of our faces. It has the front half of a bear. So the body and claws of a bear, the face of a bear, elk antlers emerging from the top of its head, and as the body moves towards the back, it slowly moves into this much more, I believe, Ursine is bear, moves into this much more ungulate form. Ungulate is the word I'm looking for, this much more deer-like form, and the back legs are those of an elk. The tail actually resembles a little bit more like yours, Theodore, this much longer tail that wraps around and then has this tuft of fur coming out from the front. And as Theodore transforms into this thing, it's about the size of a bear. It's actually quite large. Theodore, you know you're only transforming into the younger version of this creature called a Baornling. Later on, who knows? You might get access to the full shebang.
So how do I make that transform so I can use those attacks?
So you can just use the Baornling stats which I've sent you, and you can just run them straight from there. So if you click on your token and then click on the strength, dex, or con rolls, you can use those stats, and you can do the same with the claw attacks and the bite.
Click on my... Okay, so I can just run it. Ah, cool.
Just run it straight from there.
Cute.
How good's that, eh?
Love it. All right, so I'll be scooting over in their form, right over there, and I will be doing my multi-attack. So I'll start with a bite and run into it. Did that work?
Natural 1 on the bite, unfortunately. That's not a great start.
Did not like
this is the first time you've used this form, Theodore, and you're not really comfortable in it just yet. You've never transformed into a creature before. You know the magic was possible, but something about the stress of this situation triggers it. And as you transform, you kind of lose control a little bit for a moment. The instincts of the creature taking over. And as you rush forward, growling and go to bite this thing, your mind is still trying to assert who is in control here, you or the bear. And the bear wins out for this one, and you miss the attack. Would you want to make a second attack this time with your claws?
Yeah. Get mad, slashback.
20. You make up for it. You make up for it for 12 slashing damage. Amazing. As you cut carve across this thing. These large bare front paws just cut off large sections of the chitinous exoskeleton. The creature hisses in pain, this loud hissing noise, and turns towards this now much larger threat. Anything else on your turn, Theodore?
No, that's about to give a big bear growl thing.
Oh, good. Skyrim bear.wave.
I assume that's what a bear sound a bear makes.
Absolutely.
My knowledge of bear sounds comes mostly from the flawless game Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Yeah.
No bugs. Bugless.
Alrighty. Luther, you are up next.
Oh.
Could be Jonor, maybe?
Oh, where is Jonor?
It'll be Jonor.
Oh, Luther's got 2 on that for some reason. There's double initiative for Luther. Sorry. Jonor, it's you next. Oh, you guys can't see. Sorry. Because there was a previous token for all of you, and then I've moved those tokens and deleted them. You can't see them, but I still can. So don't worry. Sorry, yes, Jonor, you are correct. It is you
All
next.
good.
Fair enough. So you made a bit of a bear sound or something resembling that, and Jonor didn't know that you can
Savage.
transform. Like it's been all talk so far, and he like starts moving forward, seeing this giant worm being pulled forwards. He comes up in range and then sees you, and he's like, "Oh, which one?" And he's a bit rattled because he's like trying to fight something for the first time, and he sees everyone staring at the worm. He's like, "Oh, this one," and just like conjures a flame, moves to the side, and then launches it into the worm.
Yeah, as you go, which one? Tithla points at the worm and goes, "The gross maggoty one, the witchetty grub. Get the witchetty grub." 11. Oh, Jonor. As the firebolt shoots overhead, the panic of the situation and this sudden combat, and I'd say probably seeing this creature, you've never seen anything like this. This is horrifying.
No.
Kind of distracts you, and you just throw out a fireball. You're not even aiming, and therefore it doesn't hit. It just flies over the top of this creature's head before into the wall behind.
Yep, straight between the two of them. He's like, "Which one?" Oh!
Yeah.
And he moves forwards, and I think he would stand behind Luther again. And that's all he does.
Nice.
He's
Level 2 wizards. Luther, you're up next.
Alright. I'm in combat, so I may as well just keep swinging my daggers for now.
Just keep
Until
stabbing.
I eventually get short swords. But,
Absolutely. There's no reason not to.
Alright. 21 to hit.
21's
6
going to
piercing.
hit. Nice. 6 piercing. The distraction of Jonor's firebolt. This creature turns towards the light source and hisses, like moving away from it, which gives you an opening as you jam this dagger in between 2 plates on its neck, cutting through some vital internal organs. Would you like to make another attack?
Oh, yes. 20 to hit, 3 damage.
When he's going to hit, 3 more damage. Both these hits, as you just strike forward with one dagger and then the other one you pull in and then pull them both out, you actually pull a section of chitin with you stuck to these 2 daggers, and as you pull them apart, the chitin splits down the center and drops to the ground. Very nice, Luther. Anything else on your turn?
That is my turn. I'll just stay where I am. Theodore now can sort of handle himself. I might try and draw some attention away from Grinner, just in case.
No, fair enough.
I think my attacks probably have
Oh, two big hits. This creature's now focused more on you.
Yep. Cool.
Tithla pulls out her longbow. I said crossbow before. I did mean to say longbow. Tithla pulls out her longbow, draws an arrow, and then fires it forwards. That's a 25 to hit Tithla.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's the
See if
end
there's
dice,
damage
eh?
for 4 piercing damage. Tithla's doing okay tonight. As the bolt strikes through, it actually goes through the gap in the armor plating that you had just created, Luther. And the arrow, which might have normally just bounced off, goes straight in. And you can just see the feathered tip of this arrow pointing out, the feathered shaft of the arrow pointing out from the middle of this thing's chest as it sort of screeches in agony. Tithla is then going to move around to the other side just to keep a good line of sight and also to prepare so if she can see anything coming down the corridor. Grinner, you are up next.
So I'm paralyzed. Yeah, I can't do anything, can I?
So with the paralysis, you can re-roll at the end of each of your turns. So you can now roll again to see if you can escape this
And
paralysis.
that was a Constitution save.
Constitution saving throw. Just realizing Tithla might
Oy,
actually try to
fuck
help.
yeah.
That's
24. Grinner, this poison seems to be fast acting. As it takes hold and seals you in place, you just begin raging inside as you fight against this effect, and you are able to exert control over your muscles again, stiffly at first as you force and exert your will again to regain control of your body, and then more and more your muscles begin to respond to your commands once again as the calcium blockers created by this creature's venom are overcome by your extreme amounts of thinking calcium down the synaptic joints. Literally how muscle tone works, as you just think calcium down towards the muscles to make them activate. Genuinely, just look it up. You are able to overcome this paralysis. Unfortunately, that is at the end of your turn. However, given that was such an amazing roll, I am more than happy to allow you to rage as part of this roll. Just because it's cool.
I'm actually not going to rage.
Okay, well then I rescind any kindnesses I've ever offered you, and you can go
Good. Thank you. I will.
The carrion crawler is not a huge fan of the bear or the man who keeps stabbing it. Not a fan of either of those. It's going to use its tentacles on the stabby boy, and it's going to bite the bear. Luther, that is going to be a 15. Does that hit you?
That is my AC.
Sorry, man. That's going to be 5 poison damage, and I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw from you. The bear, Theodore the Beornling, that's going to be an 18. I'm guessing that does hit you.
That does hit, yeah.
8 piercing damage, but no need to make any con saves. Luther, 20. This venom, as it moves across, you know why it doesn't affect you. You know that your biology is a little bit different to other humans. Your blood doesn't really pump in your veins so much as methodically move through at its own pace, as your heart beats only once every couple of years. As a Dhampire, your biology is a bit different. You are kind of a bit of an undead creature. Whatever this effect is supposed to do doesn't work on you, and you are now immune to this poison effect. Same as you, I should say. You guys are now immune to this poison effect for the moment.
Oh, cool.
As you shake it off, yeah. The creature isn't going to move, but it's going to let out this chittering cry, this sort of that echoes through the hallways. Theodore, your turn.
I like that.
Sorry, it didn't pop up for me. How much damage was I taking for...
8 piercing.
8 piercing, okay.
Meow.
I'm so sorry. This cat is
No.
so
I like it. And as I've said, my dogs bark every session, so there's no worry about it.
Yeah,
I find it very entertaining, honestly.
Huge roar.
That's all the monster noises tonight.
Farting out.
That's the carrion crawler.
Theodore, that's a 15 to hit. That is a hit, and 5 piercing damage. I've realised you've sent that just to me, but that's nice of you to do that.
I don't know how I managed that, but...
Oh, because it's a monster that you're rolling. It's a monster that you're rolling. That's okay, don't worry about it, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Just announce it.
Yeah, so 15 to hit, absolutely hits. 5 piercing damage as you bite down. Again, your aim is to try and tear off sections of this creature's chitin to make it easier to attack, to get at the soft, squishy insides. Lacking an internal skeleton, getting through the outer skeleton is a must to be able to take this thing down. And your bite tears through and cuts open a large section, leaving it exposed for your claw attack.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to jam it on in there.
25! It's very exposed for your claw attack. As your claws begin raking through this thing, one of your bear claws just scoops out a huge amount of its insides and splatters it across the ground as it does 8 slashing damage. You have no idea what this creature is, how it works. You don't even know if it has a heart, but you scoop out of enough of its insides that it no longer functions. How do you want to do this?
Like a bear pouring through a beehive to get the honey to just digging through it.
You just watch, Theodore, you just begin, your bear, these massive clawed feet, these paws, and bears have quite large paws as well. The toes are actually spaced quite far apart. They've got quite a large surface area. Again, as you say, to get into honeycombs and things like that. You just begin pulling this thing apart. You guys watch as Theodore kind of loses himself for a moment in the transformation and just revels in the destruction of this creature, pulling it apart, tearing bits off it. Do you eat any of it, just out of interest?
No, I just smear it around.
Yeah, just squish it into the ground.
Imagining my dog when he digs in his water bowl to try and get more water, I assume.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so that's exactly what happens. You just,
prance around.
In this bear form, you just tear this thing. Yeah, you just tear it apart. It is torn to pieces as the cumulative damage that all of you have done leaves this opening for Theodore to just come in and tear the insides out of this creature. That's you guys out of initiative. I'm going to take you out of initiative right away as you tear this thing apart. It doesn't even have a time to cry out with this second attack as you just scoop out massive amounts of its internal guts onto the floor.
What I will do is quickly...
Tithla throws up quietly in the corner.
Oh, poor Tithla. I'm going to just get my daggers, put them back sort of on my person, and just have my heavy crossbow out now, and I'm just sort of looking at alternating between these two, because you said it made some, like, noises that, like sort of move through the corridors, so I'm just basically waiting there.
Is the chanting still going?
Yes, the whole time. And the chanting has not paused or interrupted. It was a bit hard to hear during the combat because of the sounds this creature was making, the bear roars, the sound of Grinner smashing a glass bottle and turning it into a lethal weapon to match his character up. There was a lot going on, but the chanting is still continuing. You can see there is a pathway towards the west and a pathway towards the south. The carrion crawler you had dragged to the pathway towards the south. It looks like from your perspective here that pathway then splits again into 3 more passageways, north, south, east and west. The north pathway being where you came from. Wow, this music might be a little bit intense for where you guys are right now. I might just
maybe in the combat it was alright.
yeah, I'll
definitely.
just save this for.
That is for later when we verse the boss.
Don't
Theodore,
worry.
is that you, mate? What the fuck you done?
Trottle over, give him a little nudge through the...
Oh, fuck. All right, hello. You got a lot of shit on you, mate.
This essentially, Grinner, this bear with antlers gives you a little nuzzle.
Watch the horns, mate. Fuck me. Careful.
Let's get back over and try and like flick Tithla up onto my back.
Gore Tithla.
Oh,
Tithla.
Gore Tithla.
Take that, Jacob. You should have turned up. This is what happens when you're sick, mate. You get gored. As Theodore moves over,
Gesture her up onto my back.
Yeah, Tithla goes, "Oh, you're so cuddly." Like climbs on your back and gives you a big hug on your back.
Trot around.
So did you say it has like the form? Does it have like wolf features as well, Owen?
Just the bear and deer forms. Do you want me to paste it in chat again? Actually, I'll put it up on the screen again. If you want to see it again. It's on the stream screen again now. If you want to have a bit of.
Because it was confusing me because I remember like hearing wolf and I'm like, I was looking for the wolf and I'm like,
oh, that was me. I misinterpreted the middle section.
Yeah. So it's a bear elk.
It's a bear
elk. Yeah.
It's a bear elk.
Belk.
Or a belk. Or a Beornling.
Barely an elk.
Yes,
I
thank
like
you.
the belk.
All right, it's not a belk. It's a Beornling. I worked hard on this name. It's the old Norse name for a bear, a Bjorn, but with a fey twist, Beorn. You're welcome. And for Tolkien fans, there's an extra little thing in there as well.
Yeah, loved it.
Hey, Jonor, have you ever seen anything like that in your travels? It looks like a bear elk, like a Bjelk.
The belk?
he's standing there a little bit like shocked to see this thing. He just sort of looks a bit weirdly other side and starts to approach it as if he doesn't know who it is, and is like, "Oh, good little creature," and reaches his hand out just to test the waters.
Actually, has Jonor ever been in combat before? Have I ever seen you in combat?
No. This is honestly the first time he's fought people.
I'll sort of like jump down from. I'm probably on the table now. Actually, when I think about it, I'll jump off the table and be like, "Hey, Jonor, are you okay? You look a bit pale there, friend."
This is very new territory for me. I want to kind of leave here if we can.
That's it. That's right. You've never actually been in combat. Are you okay?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you. That was a great fight. Yeah.
So take some deep breaths. Just ventilate. Get some oxygen in your lungs. You'll feel a little bit better.
It stinks in here. Oh my god, is that a worm? Oh,
don't worry about
awful.
Don't worry about the stench. Just try and breathe. Don't go through your nostrils through your mouth.
Oh, get that beer away from me. Oh, the guts is awful.
No, it's a belk.
A belk.
Come, give you the old nuzzle.
Ugh.
Yeah, the bear's nose, which hasn't really gotten too much gunk on it, gives you a very gentle nuzzle, Jonor.
That is reassuring. He starts to freeze, and he's like the creature in like fright mode. It's very freeze. It's like, yeah, okay, this is fine.
Can I try and use my?
Sorry.
Can I try and use my bear hearing to see if I can get a better bearing on where that chanting's coming from?
A bit of bearing, eh? You have advantage on wisdom checks that rely on hearing or smell as a bear, so yes, you may, as you use your keen hearing and smell.
2 psychic damage. Keep the mirror thing up.
13, and you have advantage, so you can roll again, Theodore.
Yeah, I should be trying to come through.
25, natural 20. Yeah.
Nice.
Theodore, in this form, your ability to move your ears to actually like move and capture sound in independent directions is a massive boon. You know where the chanting's coming from. You can hear it. It's coming from further ahead, down the corridor where you are here, the corridor towards the south, and then a further corridor further south again. So it sounds like it's coming from the southwest of where you are.
I crawl down there and do the little paw point down there, like, you know, the little, like the dog nose point forward sort of thing.
What that way is it, mate? All right.
Remember we're playing Curse of Strahd.
Eldritch horror.
Well, we should probably. I just want to have a look in here, make sure that nothing's going to come out from behind and give Jonor a sneaky surprise.
So, do you want to backtrack real quick?
No, I just want to have a quick little sticky beak. Don't want to go too far. I just want to make sure nothing's coming this way. Can I just be here and just see if I hear anything down this corridor?
Yeah, Grinner, you can't really hear much coming from that corridor. You can see by the faint light of the room behind where you guys are, what looks to be a large room in front of you. You can't really see too much more than that looking down this corridor, but it does look like there is something down there, larger room, and you can hear probably every so often the sound of what could be water maybe moving. Can you please roll me a perception or investigation check? I'll see if you get any more information from that, hey?
I certainly can.
Might bring us back to the webby cams for the
No.
9. Nah, that's all you get, Grinner. Nothing more than that.
Right, nothing that way. We can go the other way now.
Oh, it's probably something, but
Yeah, maybe, but
there's like a massive room over there. Gotta be something.
well, what? You want to go have a look?
I mean, I don't really want to go look anywhere around here, but I think we sort of have to.
Well,
Do you need a light? I can give you a light if you want.
yeah, all right. Pass it along.
Can I just break a bit of the table here and cast the light cantrip on a leg?
Yeah, of course you can. You could even just cast it on Grinner's broken bottle that he's still holding at this stage if you wanted.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he does that very carefully to not.
yeah, I'm going to need you to take 2d6 damage from glass cuts. As you, no, I'm kidding. You just place your hand on the glass, cast light. Grinner, your glass now illuminates with this very beautiful golden glow. And because it's on glass itself, the light that's refracting creates almost like a torch effect from the center as you point it forwards. Because the light will be rebounding inside, and yeah.
That's not too bad, isn't it? All right, you've been able to do that the whole time.
Yeah, part celestial. I got a bit of the light in me.
Yeah, right, mate. You don't have to
Stands up and
fucking
goes.
brag about it. All right, I'll start heading down the corridor.
Yeah, Grinner, as you walk
I can tell you
down.
more about it.
Grinner, as you walk down, you can see another pathway heading down towards the south. As you get to this sort of fork in the road, one pathway heading towards the west, one towards the south, you can clearly hear the chanting coming from the south now. Obviously not from the pathway to the west. Definitely coming from the pathway to the south.
Yeah, right. What do you reckon, Lufa? Do you want to check out what's down this way a little bit further, or do you want to go downwards?
I think we go into the big room, but I think, and I sort of bring everyone in, I think moving forward, throughout these passageways and such, just be careful of any potential pitfalls or something. Traps.
Shit, I hadn't even fucking thought of that. Yeah, all right.
I just started thinking about that then when we started walking through all these really tight passageways.
Well, I might have a little bit of a gaze on the floor as we move forward down here, looking for anything like that.
Jonor pulls out his book and he writes down, "Look for traps."
I like that.
Traps.
That's funny.
Bad.
I'm just going
Grinner.
to peek around the corner.
Yeah, as you get to the edge of this room and begin peeking in, you can see, a small well or maybe a cistern, 4-foot diameter, right in the very center of the room. And you can see there's a wooden bucket hanging from a rope and pulley mechanism that's bolted to the crossbeams above this well. Inside the room, you can also see what looks to be little side alcoves that probably are bedrooms. From where you are, you can actually see the beginnings of a bed in position up towards the northwest there. Not much else is really visible from inside this room, but it looks to be maybe some sort of resting chamber.
I'm gonna. What do you reckon? Do we want to be quiet through here, or you want to make a ruckus? What you feeling? You lot?
I'm back in the.
I generally like to be a bit quiet.
Yeah, I agree with Tithla. Also, I give you the crowbar I have, and maybe just as we go through, just sort of tap ahead of you.
Well, I can't go and clink, clink, clink if you want me to be fucking quiet, mate.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to do it hard. You just do a little, just tap a little bit. That's it. Just enough to.
Give it a whack.
You're not whacking it. You're just placing it down the ground and forcing some force on it. So, just.
Theodore taught me this game where you'd whack things that popped out of the ground. You called it whack-a-mole. Do that.
With genuine real moles. All right.
Is Tithla still on my back?
Yeah, Tithla's on your back. I'm going to have Tithla on your back for this entire session unless you kick her off.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I'm
gonna get a little rock though and just sort of toss it in the room.
Yeah, Luther,
maybe over here.
Yeah, Luther, as you grab a rock off the ground and chuck it, just skips across the floor and then rolls to a stop outside the doorway of one of the side alcoves.
I'm gonna do a perception check just before we enter because big room and then makes me skittish.
Yeah, Luther, as you pause and listen, don't hear any noise. Maybe the sound of very faint, occasional rustling fabric, but not much else. And the water as well, I should say, the drip of the water.
Wait, as in like the rustling fabric from us?
From you guys, and also it sounds like maybe coming from inside the room as well. You're not sure quite where it's coming from. It kind of sounds a little bit like, rustling of fabric's the best way I can describe that. Very faint.
Like wind in the curtains sort of
Could
concept?
be, yeah. A little bit similar to wind in the curtains. More like a bit of a slithering sound, as if like a little bit of cloth dragging against a stone floor.
We're underground there, so there shouldn't be any wind.
No.
I'll point this sound out and be like, just everybody, stage whispers. Can you hear that? That fabric on the ground.
Can I make a roll to see?
Yeah, you got advantage. Yeah, of course you can.
Can I roll just with advantage straight up, or do I have to roll it twice?
I believe you can do an option to always roll with advantage or technically disadvantage, but I'm happy to just roll twice, whatever's easier for you. 14 and 11.
Okay.
We'll take the 14. Yeah, Theodore, it just, to your ears, it sounds like, to your ursine ears, it sounds like, fabric moving across the floor.
Well, I nod that I can hear it.
All right.
I'm going to step in the room, but a bit more cautiously with my crossbow drawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to come over here near the well and just suss it out, look over the edge.
Yeah, as you peer down into the well, you can see what looks to be a wooden bucket hanging from a rope and pulley, as I described before, and only about 2 or 3 meters down in the well, so about 15 feet, dark water, occasionally moving as little water droplets begin moving down the side or occasionally drip off the bucket. Looks like the bucket's actually half full of water, and every so often a little drop of water falls.
Right, someone's used this not that long ago, lads. And Tithla, sorry, love.
It's all right. I know I'm one of the boys.
Yeah, you're right. Can I start unhitching the bucket?
Yeah, just untie. It's just tied on with a bit of rope. You pull the bucket up about 5 feet, and then you untie it, and you're now holding a bucket.
Sweet. It's got, like you said, about half full.
Yeah, about half full of water.
And how sturdy is it?
Oh, the wood looks to be fairly rotted, especially on the bottom, and there's moss and lichen growing up the sides of the bucket that has partially plugged the water droplet. And you can also see from your position, Grinner, looking above, there's actually almost like a focal point of condensation above, dripping water into the bucket. And then as you pull the bucket away, that water then drips from the roof directly down into the well below.
All right, we'll see how long my new flail lasts.
What were you saying, Theodore? You were saying something before.
No, just saying me and Tithla were coming in the room too.
Yeah, all right, Tithla's in there with you, absolutely. As you look into these side alcoves, I'll bring us across the map again as we have a bit of an explore. As you look into these side alcoves, Theodore, you can see beds mostly decrepit and rotten, the moisture in this room having caused the wood to rot. And in some of the rooms, there looks to be piles of clothing that's just been abandoned. You can see that in this room here to the south, right where you are there's a pile of what looks to be almost like, it looks like leather strips maybe, or a leather cloak that's just been abandoned on the floor in front of a wooden chest right in front of you as well. The wooden chest looks to be partially rotted too, and inside you can see a glimpse of what looks to be maybe a glint of metal inside.
I gesture to Tithla to jump off my back and have a rummage.
Tithla, what's Tithla's passive perception? I just want to quickly see. Yeah, she's game for that. 14. She jumps off, opens up the chest and looks inside. Goes, look at this. She pulls out an ivory hairbrush with silver bristles and begins brushing her hair. Oh, this feels nice. Chuck this down in the chat and I'll make sure we add it to Jacob's character sheet. Tithla. There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, this is nice. I like this.
I load Tithla back up on my back and away we go.
Perfect. As you step out of the room, Theodore, don't go too far for me, please. Just stay right there.
As
You go out of the room, as you step over the pile of leathers, as you go to step away, so you're still here, unfortunately, as you go to step away, you feel something wrapped around your foot. And as you look down, the leather slowly unfolds itself into what looks to be human skin, face hanging loosely. As the skin of someone wraps itself around your leg, the head, which is again just human skin, like animating itself, lifts up and goes and strikes out at you. That is going to be initiative for everybody. Theodore, you just really love triggering all of this stuff that I've got set up here. And I'm also going to need a sanity check from you as well, and from Tithla as this thing emerges from the darkness.
After just having a conversation about DMs like shouldn't put things into the world that aren't the point, I just completely ignored your comments about the leather straps.
I love it. It's fantastic. This is what gets me up in the morning.
That was probably them making that fabric noise.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get the sense that you didn't see this coming.
I can't roll initiative in bear form.
That's because just roll with you, and we'll add the plus that you get as a bear, which is just a +1.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's easy to do.
I have a -1.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oi.
So we'll turn it into a +1. So is everyone's things correct? I'll just get rid of Carry and Crawler. I better roll for Tithla again. Hey.
And you want a sanity check?
Yes, please.
So what's the formula? Will that change if I'm in bear
If you just click on it, it should be fine. And it's still the same formula because it's using mental
stats.
stats.
Okay, it's Tithla.
Oh, Tithla's not rolled well. That's not going to be good for Tithla.
All right, I hit cancel, don't I? That's how.
Yeah, just hit cancel, and it rolls it properly. I don't know why.
Yeah.
7 for Theodore. Oh no. Okay, both of you fail. Unfortunately, you also both fail by 5, which is going to be spicy things happening. So as you both failed your sanity checks, as Tithla looks down and goes, "Oh my god, what's that?" As this creature begins just unwrapping itself, both of you need to reduce your sanity scores by 1.
But what is the formula for the
So the sanity score I'm keeping track of, because it is.
I mean, why is it +2? Shouldn't it be off wisdom?
So it's your wisdom or intelligence plus your constitution plus 10.
Will my con go?
Oh, because you're a bear.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. So your con is now +3. So what's your wisdom?
+3 as well.
So that actually takes you up to a 6 rather than a +2. So you get an extra +4. So actually, you don't reduce. Okay, so we're going to have to keep this in mind that when you're in animal form, you're actually less likely to go mad. That's good to know. Cool. That is really good to know. And I guess on one hand, that kind of makes sense because the way you're connecting with these animal creatures, they kind of do have an instinct within you. A bear's not really going to perceive this as like something that drives it insane. It's going to go, "Oh, this is some gross food."
Jerky.
Yeah. Jerky. Fast food. Yeah, so it's exactly right. Okay, yeah. So actually, your total roll in that case then is actually a 11. So that's fine. It's still a fail, but not a fail by more than 5. So you're not going to reduce your sanity. That's really good. So I'm pleased about that. Tithla, however, is going to reduce her sanity. She's down to 13 now. You are both afraid of this creature, so you cannot willingly move towards it, and you have disadvantage on attack rolls while it is within line of sight of you. That's everyone's initiative. I better roll for the boneless, hey.
The boneless.
The boneless. Yeah.
Want to ride the bone train?
I like to know what they're called. The boneless is going to use its surprise round to do a crushing embrace. It is going to try and wrap around you.
Cuddles.
It's cuddles, yeah. As this human skin begins to try and wrap around you, could you please make me a strength save, Theodore?
Can do.
Is this wet human skin or
dried
parchment-y?
human skin?
Okay.
Dry. So more like a leather, like a cured. Oh, 17 is beautiful. Yeah, as this thing tries to wrap around you, you're not having this. You're not having any of this. This thing is gross. You don't want this touching you. You don't want it wrapping around you. And for a moment, you're kind of overcome a little bit by the fear of this thing and your horror at it as well. I've just put a picture in chat so you can see why you had to roll a sanity check for it.
That.
This is why you had to roll sanity. Yeah, you're not a fan of this. In your bear form, you just begin bucking and weaving, throwing this off. Tithla clings on for dear life as you begin throwing yourself around to throw this thing off. You are successful. It is not able to wrap itself around you.
Oh, that's just the skin.
It's just the skin of a person, yeah.
Ugh.
It's so bad.
Like
That's
roast chicken.
upsetting.
Good. Good. This is Curse of Strahd, guys. I want you to be upset by this. I just realized the boneless didn't get it, so for some reason it's not showing up in initiative. Is it showing up in initiative now? Can you see it now?
I can see a
Yeah.
6.
Perfect. Okay, cool. I'll just make sure we read
so good.
There you go. Alrighty. On the first round of combat, no surprises. Grinner, you see this thing through the gap between where Theodore and Tithla emerge and try and wrap itself around Theodore. Theodore throwing it off still in his bear form, but this thing looks horrific.
Yeah, it does.
Yes. You still got your
Theodore,
broken bottle. Did you want to throw that like a javelin?
Theodore, can you duck, please, mate? That's a bit fucked, isn't it?
You can see underneath the outer layer is this like leathery human skin, but the inner layer, the inside of it, is this subcutaneous fat layer. There's white fatty deposits, veins running across the surface of this thing. It is horrific.
So I'll change the bucket over to my left hand.
Yep.
Hold the rope in the left hand and just do a bottle yeet, I guess.
Yeah, so just do it like a thrown simple weapon, I believe, is in your...
Thrown simple weapon. Let's have a sticky beak. Yes, it is. Thrown improvised weapon is at any
Yep.
rate.
Almost like I went through and created improvised weapons for all the different options that you might have. 22! Oh my god. This thing had a little plus to its AC because it is partial cover around a corner and a big bear in the way. But there's unerring accuracy here. This is not the first bottle you've thrown in a bar fight. You've thrown many bottles. You've had a lot of experience with this. You just yeet this bottle. As it flies through the gap between the Beornling's legs, between Theodore's legs, it strikes into this creature. And the glass severs parts of it. I'm going to change it from piercing to slashing because it kind of makes sense for a glass bottle that's thrown to become slashing damage. As it slices through, it actually cuts off one of the arms of this creature. As you do 6 piercing damage, or 6 slashing damage in this case. That is nice, man.
Now, out of curiosity, Owen,
Yeah.
that bottle's already damaged and broken. Would the impact of hitting human skin shatter it completely, or would it
Actually buffer it a little bit.
Yeah,
because the human skin is going to act almost like a parachute material to strike into, because it's partially animated, but it's not like a hard surface. It's not taut. It's partially elastic. As this bottle spears in and slashes through, it doesn't break.
Okay.
It's not like striking a hard surface.
Does it then like illuminate from the inside? Because the bottle had
Yeah.
Oh, it still has light.
light
Yeah.
is pouring out the eyes.
I don't like that.
This
Is it more or less scary?
It's way more scary. This like red light shines from inside its body as the bottle sort of drops down into the inner folds of its skin somewhere in the muscle layer around the stomach. This glow begins shining from inside. You can see these hollow eye sockets glowing with this golden light. This open mouth agape, lips partially torn, severing a gap between the nose. This light shining out as it goes and looks
So
around.
gross.
Grinner, that is amazing.
I'm going to try and move
Away.
I know these guys are all in the way, but how close can I get? That's kind of the best I
You
can
can,
do.
yeah, absolutely. And Grinner, as you move up to there, You look into the room just towards the south. You can see there's another one of these things.
Oh, shit. Okay.
As you rush up, Grinner, this creature begins... Because you can see it was actually making its way for Jonor. The hand had just started to flap around the corner to go for Jonor's leg. And as you rush up and move into position, this thing turns its sightless eyes up towards you, as it sees you.
Hello, sweetheart.
This one does look to be female. Anything else on your turn, Grinner?
I just yell out, another one, lads. And
Perfect.
Tithla, sorry, love.
That's all right, Grinner. I'm terrified. Theodore, what would you like to do?
I'm just gonna like rear off my back legs and just slap a paw down on his face.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, 10, and you also have disadvantage on this too because you're currently frightened of this creature. So don't worry about rolling again because it doesn't change anything. As you go to strike down, you just push this thing onto the ground, and then it begins flapping up around your feet, moving with this strange movement. As you realize you haven't actually done anything to it, you've just knocked it down, and then it is as it comes up around you.
Try to bite him.
Nat 20.
All right, roll
26.
Nice.
Disadvantage, yeah, unfortunately. Oh, Nat 1!
No.
No. That would have been amazing.
Nice.
As you go to bite this thing, you clamp down, and for a moment you think you've got it, and then this thing just wraps itself around your snout, and you're like, oh shit, as it begins moving about you. Yeah, that's not great.
I then proceed to try and leg it with Tithla on my back.
Okay, so you will have to make a disengage, unless you're going to take attack of opportunities, which I don't think you can make a disengage. So
I've already acted.
Yeah,
I mean,
so attack of opportunity.
I'm being spooked, so
This thing's going to try and it's really going to try and lock you down if it can. Oh, don't worry, natural 1. Even though you had a natural 1 and it has a bonus, I still rolled a natural 1, so you both cancel each other out. As this thing goes to strike at you, you just nope on out of there. Where would you like to move to?
I'll probably go. Yeah, just maybe back to here, so Tithla's a bit out of harm's
Perfect.
way.
Tithla moves with you. Theodore, as you run past this open doorway here,
No.
you can see
Do I
there's
see
another
another
one.
I go,
Sorry, what was that noise again? Perfect, and that's being clipped, and that'll be a TikTok now.
Oh, you fishing.
The Boneless. Boneless aren't a fan of that. This Boneless is going to begin moving towards Grinner. This Boneless goes for Grinner as well.
Could you
Am
tell
I
them to
scared of
fuck
all
off?
of them,
though?
or just the first one?
They're all moving on the same
No,
initiative.
but am I scared of just the first one?
Just the
or
first one.
okay?
Actually, and you need to roll me a wisdom save to see if you're over your fear. I'll roll for Tithla too. Thank you for reminding me. Wisdom saving throw. Tithla is over her fear. Just
Mine should be coming through.
any second now. 11. It's
Oh,
a
no.
fail. Just a fail.
Oh,
You're still just afraid of the first one. This the one that tried to wrap itself around you, not all of them. Grinner, there's going to be 2 going for you, buddy. I'm sorry about that.
Me too.
It's going to make 2... Actually, one of these is going to go for Jonor. It can hit Jonor around the corner. So the first one, Grinner... Oh, no, I've rolled really well, buddy. I'm so sorry. Does a 20 hit you, Grinner?
Just. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be 4 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, that's alright.
Does a 19 hit you, Grinner?
Uh-huh.
It's going to be 4 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Jonor, does a natural 20 for 25
Oh,
hit you?
fuck.
Oh.
Nah, bro, I got that down packed.
That's going to be 7 damage. And Jonor, does a 16 hit you?
It does.
That's going to be 4 bludgeoning damage. Both of you, I need you to make strength saving throws as both of you are affected by 2 slam attacks in a row. I need strength saving throws from both of you as they both go to try and wrap you up. This next one is going to go for Theodore. I'll do the attacks against Theodore as well in the meantime. Alrighty. Jonor, 19, natural 20 for a total of 19.
Wow, that's
You were just
that's
noping. This creature is. You don't want to be anywhere near this. As chat say, bad touch, bad touch. As this thing tries to wrap around you. Thank you, chat. I like that a lot. As this thing tries to wrap around you, you're just like, oh, no, and you kick it off and push it back. Grinner, did you roll me a strength check? A strength
No,
saving
I
throw?
didn't. Sorry.
Could you please roll me a strength saving throw?
I can do it.
Nice.
19. Yeah, you're exactly the same. You just kick this thing off as it tries to wrap around you. Theodore, does a 14 hit you?
Does it hit my?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does, unfortunately. That's going to be 3 bludgeoning damage.
Sure thing.
And does a 12 doesn't hit you. Your armor class
No.
is 13. No, so the second hit doesn't hit.
I finally blocked an attack.
Does not hit. As the second strike of this, as they rear up and begin just slapping you with their empty flesh, the empty skin, just whacking across you.
Don't like that.
Yeah, don't like that at all. I'd have to say, I in full honesty, when I incorporated the boneless in, because this is a creature from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. After looking at the artwork and then incorporating them into this, I actually had a nightmare about them that night. These things are horrifying. I don't dream very often, and I don't have nightmares very often because I become aware that I'm dreaming quite quickly most of the time when I do dream. This one just fucked me up. It's just terrifying. Oh, this is bad. But yeah, as this thing tries to whip at you, Theodore, the second attack misses and it can't get a grip on you. Luther, you're up next. Luther's the only one currently not in danger of these things right now.
No.
I'm
I
in
heard
danger.
something moving in the room
So far.
immediately made me start like getting sus.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna-
Luther, your
I have my
cloak
crossbow
begins
out.
flapping, and as it wraps it, no, I'm kidding.
So nothing came out of these two.
No.
Yeah.
Yet.
That's good. It's alright.
You guys are starting to learn me too well.
We cross it. I'm gonna take this dude because he's already been damaged.
So the one that's currently engaged with Grinner, the first one that attacked.
They're all engaged with fucking Grinner.
They are actually.
They are actually.
I'm gonna move here because I might get a
Yeah.
better look in on that one from my current angle.
Luther, as you move in, this thing is... You've seen some fucked up shit. This bile rises the back of your throat as you see this. This is a monstrosity. Whatever these things are, these are unnatural.
Cool. So I'm gonna roll to projectile vomit
What gave
on
it away?
Just give me a sec.
Roll for acid damage.
22! That's a hard projectile vomit hit. No, it's just your heavy crossbow. Yeah,
Five damage. I rolled a 2, unfortunately. In the
as you just lower the crossbow and fire, this bolt shoots past Grinner's ear. Grinner, you feel the wind come off this thing as it flies through, and you turn to see the crossbow bolt pierce right through this thing's open, gaping mouth and go out the back of its head, tearing a hole. You can now see the light through the other side of this creature's head and mouth as it tears it open. That is going to be 5 piercing damage. Very nice.
Yep.
Anything else on your turn, Luther?
So with the loading thing, like I can use an attack action, but I can't do multi-attacks with crossbows until I get like the loading, like something to deal with the loading.
Yeah, so loading...
And that's how it
Crossbows
works.
are
I
always
think it
ready to
works
fire
with
once per action.
multi-attack.
Reloading takes place immediately before firing as a free interact action, similar to drawing a sword. So you can still retain bonus
Yep.
action and movement. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I think it's when you get multi-attack, I think that's when
Yeah.
it starts getting a bit fiddly.
You can
But
only fire one piece of
action
ammunition from it
surge-
and use an action, bonus action, or reaction to fire it, regardless of the number of attacks you normally take. But action surge is a separate action, so therefore it is a
Yes.
separate attack. So yes.
So I
So
can
so,
do it
so you
again.
get one attack per action can be a crossbow shot, but if you have
Yep.
2 actions, that's different.
Yep, cool. I'm gonna action surge because
Yes.
Grinner's taken some damage, and
Yes.
I'm thinking that like a short
thing's
rest
bad
might
news.
be
Yeah.
a short rest might be due soon. So I'm gonna use my action surge to take another shot at it.
Luther, you immediately
13.
moving very quickly. You load a new bolt in, pull it back, aim, and fire again straight away. 13 is enough to hit. As the
Thank
bolt
God. 12
flies
piercing.
through, how do you want to do this?
Oh, the
Oh.
bolt, the dart's gonna the bolt's gonna pierce through to the top of its head, and then pin it up against the wall in the back, almost like
Oh, amazing! Yeah,
Like a coat
Yeah.
rack.
now it's like a coat rack.
I'm gonna say for flavor, you actually drop to one knee and fire low, aiming up. And as you pin the creature up on the wall, it begins dropping down through the arrow, tearing in half as it does so. This ripping sound of fabric as the 2 pieces flutter to the floor uselessly and cease to move.
Cool.
It's pretty brutal. Luther, that is the end of your turn, I believe, unless you want to take
And
some
I'll just
movement.
move up here.
Yeah, just move out of the way. As you move
I
next
might
to the
move
well,
over here.
Luther. As you move next to... No, I'm kidding. Tithla.
Done.
Tithla... Excuse me, Lumi. Excuse me. Tithla barks. She's not happy about any of this. As she pulls out her longbow, she's going to fire at the one near you, Theodore. Because on your back, technically, she's not within 5 feet because you're a large creature at this point. So technically, she's not got the disadvantage to attack at close range because she's on your back. And she just jump off the back and then fire over the top of you to avoid getting disadvantage. That's fine. So she just drops off your back and fires the crossbow. 20 definitely hits. That is going to be 4 damage, the one right in front of you. Tithla really doesn't like this. Is there anything else she can do? She's probably not going to do... She's going to use Fury of the Small. Once per short rest, she's going to use that to deal an extra 2 damage as she fires this bolt into this thing, and the bolt flies through. It severs through part of the shoulder skin and muscle, tearing its limbs off on one side. Has she got any bonus actions that she can do? She could do Hunter's Mark, but I don't think she would just yet. So I got 1 spell slot left. She's going to save that for Cure Wounds if she needs it. So Tithla doesn't do anything else. Tithla then climbs back on your back, Theodore, and goes, Kill them with claws! Jonor, it is your turn.
Okay, has this creature reached out? Is it beyond the entrance into this room, beyond the doorway?
So the one towards the south, it technically is within range to attack you, but you have a bonus to AC because you are around the slight corner. I'm more thinking
if I create an illusion of a barrier in that doorway there, because it's already reached out and tried to grab me, then it's probably going to go... It
has, and it's also hit Grinner, so it has also reached out. It's hit you as well, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it
also, I will add, Jonor, this thing doesn't have eyes. It's just got these gaping empty eye sockets where the skin is. There's no actual eyes. You don't know how this thing sees.
Yep. He is going to freeze again after being touched by that slimy, bloody thing. And he's with the arm that's touching him. He's getting the fireball. He's just going to whack it. So just cast fireball on the thing next to it.
Okay.
Firebolt, sorry.
No. So fortunately, Jonor, because you're within range of this thing, within melee range, I believe you make this ranged spell attack with disadvantage unless you want to move back and risk an opportunity attack to do this natural 20.
He's not going to risk getting hit.
Okay.
So
I'll get you to roll again then, because it is a ranged spell attack. That's a real shame because that natural 20 that would have been amazing.
Yeah, let's just do that one again.
24, still amazing.
Yep.
And 5 fire damage. This thing does not like being set on fire. As you blast it with this firebolt, could you roll me an additional d4, please?
Ooh, absolutely.
Yep. Dried human skin turns out to be a little bit flammable. As your firebolt burns through into it, you see this section of embers and smoldering acrid burnt flesh begin to open up in the center of its chest as it sort of moves back, trying to get away from this fire. That was very loud for people with headphones.
It's like someone whacking away like an insect or some creature on him. He's like, he's like patting the fire off him.
Yeah, nice. Anything else in your turn, Jonor?
That's it. He stands there.
Grinner, the one in front of you is a little bit on fire and looks like it's not having a good time.
All right, good thing I've got a bucket of water.
Here, let me help you, good sir.
Few points of order.
Yes.
How long is the rope attached to my bucket flail?
It's about 2 feet.
Right, okay, so quite short. That's a very short drop into the well.
Oh, sorry. When you said you were taking it off, I assumed you were taking the bucket off the well, as in like the bit that it's attached, because it's got a safety line keeping it in place, and then the longer line that's wrapped up. I didn't realize did you want to like unspool the whole length of rope? Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, well then in that case it's about a 6 foot length of rope, 8 foot length of rope.
Right. Well, I also need to know the height of the roof.
The roof in this room is.
What is the ambient temperature?
The roof in this room is 12 feet.
Sick. And because the well's in between squares, how far is the well from the one in front of me?
5, 10, 15.
15. All right. 15 feet. Okay, that's...
Maybe let's say like, because it's kind of partly in, the edge of the well is kind of partly in that square, maybe let's say 13 feet to be really, really pedantic about distances.
All right, pedantic. And my last question is, how heavy is desiccated human skin?
You would know, Grinner. No, you wouldn't know this. Looking at these things, seeing an arrow was enough to pin it to the back wall. You get the sense that there's not a lot of weight to these things. There's a lot of strength, but there's not a lot of mass.
Cool.
If that makes sense.
I'm going to let out enough slack so my bucket's just like an inch off the floor.
Yep.
And using centrifugal force to keep the water in, I start spinning it around and smack it straight on the top of the head with the bucket.
Fantastic. You can make me an attack with a martial improvised weapon, as this is taking the place of a flail, essentially, or technically a morning star, isn't it? Flail. Morning star's on the pole. Flail's on the rope. Oh no, 8. As you spin it, Grinner, the bottom of the bucket, as you get around the 4th rotation, the bottom drops out and the water just shoots up at the ceiling, and the water just falls out of this thing. It's still heavy. It's a banded iron bucket. It's wood banded with iron, but the water that you were keeping in just goes up on the ceiling and then splashes down on top of you.
Ah, piss. Ah, fuck.
That sums it up.
It seems like a weird time for a bath, Grinner.
Yeah, all right, fuck off, Tithla. I'm going to leave. I go away. I'm going over here.
Okay, as you move away, it is going to slam you
I know, that's
with its leathery skin. 12. I don't think 12 hits you, does it?
No, it does not.
No, as it tries to whip you, you just back away, just like nope, 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 nope.
And to be fair, the other one would as well. I would.
Thank
assume.
you. Yes, it would. Thank you very much. Grinner, that's a natural 20.
That misses. Yeah.
It doesn't though. That's going to be. It could. That's going to be plus an extra D4. So sorry, plus a 4 because it is a D4. That's 11 damage, Grinner.
11 damage. All right, sweet. I'm all good. That's fine. That's something I can do. I didn't like that. I'm going to stay where I am, over near the well now.
Yep. Theodore, you know this creature now doesn't have an opportunity attack. However, it is also right in front of you.
Well, I just go for a huge chunk at it with my jaws.
Yep.
As a starting point.
You're gonna bear down on it. 20. That is 5. It says piercing damage. Yeah, piercing damage.
For the jaws,
yeah. Yep. 5 piercing damage.
And then
what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? What is your favorite color? What is your quest to seek the Holy Grail? What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? African or European?
I don't know that.
I don't know that. Would you like to roll me your claws, please, Theodore? I know we got distracted with that. Sorry, I was...
I
25.
will wait for Monty Python. Always.
Theodore, how do you want to do this?
Just smash it straight into the wall.
As your second...
Through it, just little tatters fall down around it.
Yeah, as you strike with your claws, this thing flies back into the wall and just shatters on impact. Sections of frayed fabric falling around like very disgusting like confetti as it drops down from the wall around you. Jonor, a little bit of it drops down at your feet and you can see it drifting through the air near to where you're breathing. You just sort of like cover your mouth a bit, breathe in. Anything else on your turn, Theodore? You can use your movement.
I'll run right down there and put myself between the corpsey boy and Jonor.
He's a brave bear. It is the boneless turn. There's only one bonus left. It is going to use its turn to try and kill the bear. Not being very intelligent. I'm guessing a 20 hits you, Theodore?
No, sorry.
So that's 4 damage because you've got an armor class of 13. And I'm guessing a 13 hits you because we just discussed your armor class is 13. So that's going to be 5 bludgeoning damage.
9 it is. Cool. No dramas.
How are you looking? You've taken a few hits now.
Still have more temp HP than regular me has max HP.
Yeah, amazing. That's the boneless's full turn. It doesn't make any efforts to move away. Luther, you're up next.
Okay, I'm gonna move in here.
Do I get grabbed or anything from getting hit by 2 attacks?
Thank you. Yes, you need to make me 2 strength saving throws. Thank you very much. Yes, you do.
2 strength saving throws, is it?
Oh, just 1. Sorry. Why did I say 2? Yeah, so you took two slam attacks. I just need to make a strength saving throw. Oh, 9.
Oh my god.
It wraps itself around you and begins squeezing. At the start of each of the boneless's turns... so nothing happens right now, but you are blinded. As this thing wraps around your face, you are blinded and unable to breathe. All you can breathe is this like disgusting human skin pressed up against your face.
Right.
You can
That
a
sounds
creature.
delicious for a bag.
I will display this so that you can see the full effects of it because I think you do need to know that. Has that come through? No. Can I display this, please? That's right. I'll just copy and paste it. I think you do need to know the mechanics of how this works. I'm just pasting it in chat right now. There you go. So you guys can use an action to detach this thing using a strength check to throw it off, or you can make an make an attack against it. However, there is a chance if you roll low enough that it might pierce through into the creature it is currently holding on to. Luther, what would you like to do?
Okay, so if I was to try and attack or shoot this thing, how would that work?
Don't roll a 1.
Okay,
Oh,
because
you
that
hit me.
probably hit Theodore.
Tithla, who's on your back, Theodore, begins trying to like pull this thing off you as it wraps around your face. Gets tangled in your antlers.
Strength is not my strong suit.
Just make an attack, man. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
for it.
I'm gonna do it.
Just
I
don't roll a
apologize
one.
if I hit you with the
Just
crossbow
don't roll a 1.
bolt.
Don't roll a 1.
Well, we
He's
have
not
a wizard.
gonna
We'll be dodging fireballs later on. You won't be the most.
It's
damage
okay.
on those teams.
Just sit there for a sec. Stay still, and I'm sort of like
Theodore, this is muffled to your ears. As this thing is wrapped around you, all you can hear is
it's 12 to hit.
12 hits, 13 piercing damage.
Really?
Oh, fuck me.
13?
How do you want to do this? How do you want to do this? That's it. It's their armor class is 12. They have an armor class of 12. That is exactly enough HP to take this thing out. That's exactly lethal.
Sweet. Okay. So yeah,
I was setting this up as being a really tense moment, but it doesn't matter. You just you just one shot this thing from a distance.
I feel like my bolt will sort of come through, hit it in a certain point, and then just sort of
Tear it
similar
off.
to what I did before. It just tear off.
Yeah.
Theodore, and then like sort of then slam into the wall again, and it's because it's sort of intertwined. It probably be almost like torn to ribbons as like the force comes through, carries it, but then some of its limbs probably still are hanging on to Theodore. I've just taken the main brunt of it off and opened his airways again.
Tithla actually she's trying to pull a section of it up. She exposes part of the central back section where the ridges of the spine would be if it had a skeleton. And you take this opportunity to fire the arrow out. As Tithla pulls this up to try and tear it off, it catches that section and rips part of the creature off Theodore, tearing it in half. The bits that are left on you, Theodore, you quickly pull off with your paws, tear off with your hands, and Tithla doing the same as she tears this creature off you. You are all out of initiative as you tear the last of this creature off. Tithla sort of looks down and goes, "Oh my god, that was really disgusting."
Did not like that. I'm going to sit on the floor and light another cigarette and just kind of put my back up against the well, wincing. I look pretty fucked up. Like, I've got blood coming out of my nose, my mouth. I'm spitting it on the ground so I can have a puff on my dart. My
I'd
ears
probably
are bleeding.
I'd put my crossbow away, and I'd probably gesture to Tithla, hey Tithla, you're always going on about like how you're a medical whiz. Could you help Grinner out a little bit with some of his wounds?
I'm fine. Don't fucking worry about it.
I
No,
mean, I
fuck.
could give him a hand, but then I wouldn't have any spells left for later. If we
It's alright.
needed
You don't
them.
need to cast anything. Maybe just do some.
Oh,
cells,
using my medicine,
like-
my medicine genius.
No,
Yeah.
look. It's
just so nothing
fine.
gets infected or something like that.
It's just a fucking. It's all right. Don't worry about it.
Look, it puts the lotion on the skin, or it gets the hose again, Grinner. You know how this goes.
I'd trot over there and just slap a bear paw into him and
Hold him down.
put a cure wound straight into him.
Now, answer me this, Theodore. Does that spell have a verbal component?
Oh shit. Oh, roll.
I can still talk.
Can you?
Yeah. I think the verbals like
Oh,
more.
I don't think
it's verbal or semantic actually.
I don't think you can cast anything.
I think it
while
might-
I can't. I'm pretty sure I look like I can cast while in wild shape.
I think because what you can do is I think you can cast like concentration spells, then go into the wild shape and maintain the concentration. But I don't think you can actually cast
so you-
spells. That's like an 18th level feature for Druid, I
Yeah,
think.
so
Oh,
you,
really?
you
Like, I misinterpreted that.
so you can't cast spells requiring a material component or a verbal component, and the semantic component is tricky unless you've got digidegrade. It's because
Well, bears
it
have
is good,
posable
but
thumbs, I think.
Yeah, I
don't
got
they?
thumbs.
yeah, bears do. Okay, so yeah,
It's verbal or semantic for cure wounds.
yeah. So you can't use a focus of any kind while in wild shape, even if the animal you morph into has hands. Yeah, it doesn't. You definitely can't cast spells in as a bear. Beginning at 18th level, you then can cast.
Okay, I was just interpreting the concentrating on spells, then going into wild shape. Okay.
Yeah, so you can
do that, though.
So what you can do is you can do which the very first character I ever did, which was Moonbeam Bear, where you drop a moonbeam and turn into a bear, and you can move the moonbeam around.
Moon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll probably pop out of bear and then do that anyway.
Okay, he just watches the transformation back. Like, do you like merge back into yourself? Is it kind of like the Animorphs thing?
Yeah, I was just about to say it's the Animorphs cover.
Fucking love Animorphs. If you don't know what Animorphs is, you have a ruined childhood, and I fear for you.
Hilarious.
You need to go and find. You need to go back and be a child again and read Animorphs because it's a fundamental
Can you do artwork
part.
for that, Owen?
Can I do artwork for Theodore halfway between?
Yeah, Animorph Theodore.
Oh, I'm going to do it exactly like the covers where I just take the pictures of both and badly Photoshop them in between. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah. I thought for a second you wanted me to do a good job, and I was like, I've never done a hybrid transformation before.
No, you don't need to. I think that is more than fine.
Oh, there you go. There's a 8 health coming at you, Grinner.
Tithla also takes a bit of a look over you and binds your wounds, Grinner, as well, wrapping bandages around and cutting off most of the bleeding, treating some of the bruising.
You don't have to. Thank you. Really, it's all right.
How are you all feeling? I didn't get hurt once. Then I was too quick.
I'm not too bad. I took a bit of a hit, but I'm not too bad overall. As I'm collecting some of my darts. And how many darts do I recover? I fired 3.
Look. Here's how I'm gonna do this. You know that I don't like keeping track of ammunition as a DM because I'm lazy. Do you know what? I'm gonna say that the gift that was given to you, this crossbow, it has a magical property. It summons the ammunition into it when it's just because look, D&D is about having fun. Unless you really enjoy the process of keeping micro track of your arrows and picking them up at the end of the session, which if you do, I will keep track of them. I will help you keep track of them. If you don't enjoy that, I'm happy to just say
Legolas arrows.
I'm happy for whatever you deem.
Okay, I can't personally be fucked dealing with that sort of level of micromanagement.
Sweet.
Cool. And I don't in any of my games. I'm surprised. When you ask, I'm like, the fuck do you mean? How many darts do you pick up? What are you talking about? Get out of here, nerd. If you want to count, go be an accountant. No, so you recover all your bolts. No problems. Like unless you fire it into like a fire elemental or into lava or it goes somewhere that it can't be recovered. And I'll let you know. If you ever can't recover it, I'll let you know. But otherwise, let's just assume at the end of each combat, you just recover your bolts.
If they just appear anyway in my quiver, like when
I won't do that just yet because I've had an idea about. I've actually got something. As I said that out loud,
you want me to track my crossbow bolts now?
Don't worry about it. I'll just tell you if you lose one.
Okay.
No. So because that's much easier. Because then you don't have to. So we'll just assume you automatically collect them. And if you fire it into like a fire elemental or into lava, then I'll be like, well, that one's gone. But the others are fine.
It's alright. It's only until I get my guns anyway.
And that's exactly right.
Yeah, I didn't take any damage. Too quick.
Oh, Jonor, yes, sir.
Yeah, he starts. He just lights up his hands and just like sinks it on himself straight away. He's just like, it's a big bruise from the skin thing that whacked him. He's standing there like
doing a Peter Griffin.
It's the first big hit he's ever taken.
Tithla walks over. Jonor, how hurt are you? Just out of interest.
More than half my health.
Okay. Tithla walks over and goes,
"Oh, that looks like a pretty nasty bruise, Jonor. I was going to call you a little bitch, but actually that looks pretty nasty. Do you want me to fix you up?"
His healing hands did do a bit of good for him. I could look after myself, and he just like casts it on himself and sprightens up a little bit.
I mean, it's good that you can touch yourself.
I don't touch myself in front of people. And he just awkwardly.
I was talking about your spellcasting. What are you talking about?
He goes red.
I hope I've captured.
I think we need to address the moaning, mate. I think we might need to address that.
Look, I just had a really hard time here. It's no. He then tries to stand up, stall. He's like, No, I'm good. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Yeah.
This is your second combat now. Look at you. You're pretty much like a veteran, Jonor now.
Oh, thank you. He's a little bit inspired hearing,
I give him a pat as well, like on the shoulders. I say that.
He stands up straight. Tries to kick together.
Look over at Grinner and he's still just pissing out blood.
But he's just smoking that cigarette.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He's all good.
Should we search this room? I found this really fancy brush. Tithla holds up the hairbrush that she found made of silver.
I reckon we start looking through some of these. Looks like there's a chest here, so I'm going to walk
Might
forward.
want to do that a little bit carefully, though, right? Let's not have a repeat.
Definitely we'll check it first. Don't want any poison darts hitting me.
Poison darts? Is that something that happens most of the time?
Well, I assume that it was a poison dart in that upstairs room. Remember that? Where we found the skeleton sort of...
I didn't know it was poisoned. I just saw that it had been killed.
I just assumed.
When I got the deed to my house.
Yeah, so we got the deed to your house. Lovely house you got here, Theodore. It's
I think you should have got buyer's insurance. Alrighty, so Luther's checking out the chest down towards the south. Luther, as you open up the chest, you find inside this black pudding launch. No, as you reach inside, you can see a longsword. Actually, no. Let's say it's a short sword because I know you were looking for a short sword. So let's make it a short sword. So you see inside the chest a short sword, beautifully made, and more importantly, as you pull it out and begin looking over the blade, this has been silvered. Not completely coated, but the actual cutting edge has been coated in a layer of silver that is worked through, almost giving it a appearance of Damascus steel, these like veins of silver running through the blade itself. Thank you. You can add a silvered short sword to your inventory. It is worth roughly, if you are interested, about 110 gold pieces.
Oh.
I sort of...
Check it in chat for you. There you go.
Yep, sweet.
You go,
I sort of bring it out, do some quick sort of like strokes with it. This is
perfectly
quite well
balanced.
Weighted. Feels good, actually.
That's fucking fancy, mate. What was that just in there?
Yeah, it was in the chest here. I may as well start sort of looking through all these rooms. They might have some more nice treasure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start ritual casting detect magic. You guys just have a little bit of a look. I want to have a bit of awareness of things coming up next time. For magic, don't like being surprised.
That's a good idea. Can I, Owen, just have a quick little sticky beak? The well itself, how crumbly is it and how large are the stones?
Not super crumbly. The stones are roughly about 30 centimeters diameter, so fairly large. Like you can hold them in a hand, because you're quite strong. But 2 hands is much more comfortable to hold them. So roughly about the size of a head, 30 centimeters ish. Yeah.
I might just spend that 10 minutes with the crowbar that Luther gave me, just prying one loose.
Oh, it doesn't, 10 minutes is a very sufficient, almost excessive amount of time as you just, and then stand there holding it for 9 more minutes. I think this is a good size. Yeah. If you wanted to also go and check one of the rooms, you're more than welcome to. Theodore, you wandered into the room towards the left. As you walk in, the chest actually appears to be locked. You try and open it.
Can I?
Do you need some assistance there? I can give you a hand and open it for you if you like, and you can check the contents.
Yeah, cheers. Please.
Can I please have a sleight of hand check?
Cool. And I have Thieves' Tools.
13. 13 is more than sufficient as you and unlock the padlock on it and open up the chest. Theodore, you peer inside and you can see deep inside the chest there is what looks to be a strip of black cloth. And as you pull it out, you see it's actually an eye patch meant to go around the head and cover the eye. But it could also be worn as a headband too. The material itself is actually quite well made. And you can see that the outside of it has been braided with silver wire or silver thread all around the outside. Or you can call it a silver braided headband. And in the very center is a carnelian, a red gem. Sitting in the very center of it. Carnelians are red, aren't they? Gosh, sure. I don't know.
Garnet?
They are now.
They are now. Let's have a look. Carnelian. Yes, they are. Oh my god, my photographic
Yeah,
memory
nice.
of gemstones. Yeah, they're like an orangey red fire color. Sits right in the very center of it.
Nice.
Do I notice anything magic about it?
As you look at it, I mean, it's not glowing, it's not sparkling. There's no voice speaking to you. So off the top of your head, no. But would you like to make me an Arcana check to see if you?
I would indeed like that.
I suspect you might. 16. You don't get the sense this is magical. There's no runes, no markings woven into it. From a surface glance and investigation, hard to say. Probably not.
Well, Mr. Luther, do you see this very fancy eye patch?
That I do there, my friend. It's quite nice. It's quite fancy.
Thank you for getting me into this chest. I strapped that on. I think it looks
Look
quite
at that.
nice.
Just as a headband?
No, it's an eye patch.
Okay,
Oh, perfect.
you lose
Do you
depth
have any
perception.
problems? I was about to say, do you actually have any problems with that? Oh, you just...
No, I just think it looks quite dashing.
Well, you know what? It does look really dashing, but... yeah, no, it looks good. I'm just sort of a bit worried for him, but he seems really into it, so I don't want to kill his thunder.
You know from a rough glance at it, Theodore, it's probably worth about 80, 70 gold pieces. I've chucked that in chat, so you can add that to your inventory. Leather eye patch with a carnelian,
Will
worth
do.
about 80 gold pieces.
Love
There's
it.
still a room to the north. Let's say Jonor
reckon-
explores that
yeah,
one when he's finished
Jonor
his
wants to hit
detect
that.
magic, and Grinner, you went to the room to the north as well. There's a room each, essentially, is how I've worked this.
I'll just go up and help them if they need it.
Yeah. Grinner, as you move up and look into that room, you can see that in the bottom of the chest is a coin purse that has 11 gold pieces and 60 silver pieces.
Lovely,
There
lovely.
you go. I'll paste that in chat.
I try and work out how to pick that up while I'm holding this rock.
Oh, you can hold it in one hand. You're very strong. It's just a bit awkward. You like tuck it
Okay.
up against your body and hold it against your chest and then lean down and pick up the coin pouch. And Jonor, in the final chest as you open it up, you find 3 moss agates, which I'm guessing are a green color. Let's have a look, see if I know what color gemstones are. Yes, they are. Oh, they're a very pretty color. For those of you who don't know what moss agate looks like, it's very pretty. It's like a
Oh, it's like a tealy turquoise.
Yeah.
Sort
it
of
almost
like...
looks like a verdigris green. I really like that. Like the color copper goes when it oxidizes. Yeah, so Grinner, you find Jonor, you find 3 moss agates. You get having a bit of a look at them. I'd say knowing like spellcasting components and things like that. You know they're worth about 10 gold pieces each.
Cute.
I'll add that to your inventory. There you go. They're on the chat right now, and that's
Lovely.
what you
Do I-
find. You loot the
Do I
chests.
see any shades of magic?
Unfortunately
Walking
not. As
around
you
the
look
room?
around with your detect magic eyes, your glowing golden eyes, Jonor, there's no sense of magic here in this room at all. Nothing glows with magic. However, the chanting, you can actually see every time the chanting rises, almost like heat waves moving out from the corridor towards for you guys now, towards the southeast. The source of the chanting.
Ooh.
Every so often there's these waves of shimmer that move down that give the hint of some powerful magic coming from that direction.
Fuck, we might
Ooh.
need to do something about that.
Yeah, so going
I
to
can-
said, perhaps
I
you do
can
not
see
want to
the-
wait for that to get worse.
I can
Should we,
actually see the sound.
Wait, did you say you could see sound?
Yeah, I can see the sound. It's like a wave. It sort of comes in and washes in, and
It
Wow,
sounds like the
that's-
time we took those mushrooms, Tithla.
Oh, I think that was a bit different. I think this is actually like a thing he's actually seeing.
it's definitely real. I can tell you that right now. It's kind of
Tell you what,
spooky.
God, I wish I had some of those mushrooms right now. I felt really happy when we had them.
Much more pleasant than floating skin corpses.
Oh, I'd
I
really
feel
rather
like
not
that would
think
give
about
me a
those.
terrible trip, to be honest.
What, worse than floating skin corpses? As she looks
Well,
down.
if I have to fight floating sin corpses while I'm high, I think I might have a bad fucking time, Tithla.
I don't know, Grinner. You kind of move like you're just flailing around. Wouldn't that help?
Well, it works, all right, love. It's don't knock it if it works, all right.
I wasn't knocking it. I was saying I think you should get high and fight more often.
Well, all right, I've done that once, and you see this scar here? Point like this big gnarly one that kind of gets to my lip and curls it up slightly. That's what happened there. We don't do that. You got to be at least a little bit sober for fighting, if you can help it.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what Jacob would say is Tithla. I hate talking as PC characters. Tithla sort of moves back towards Theodore. Can I climb on your back again and just ride you?
I'm in person for. But yeah.
I mean, when you're a bear.
Of course, Tithla, you can always ride Bear Theodore on the teddy bear.
It makes me feel better.
So shall we get down there and sort out this chanting before it, I don't know, summons some kind of abomination and murders us all?
I think,
Yeah.
I think if we go up this way, though, we might look back around where we were. Do we just want to double back real quick? There might be some more treasure over there. I don't know.
Look, maybe we look for treasure after we do not get attacked by some kind of demon.
I'm with Theodore on that one, mate. I think time might be of the essence, Luther.
Treasure will not go anywhere unless
we can go down.
Some kind of portal.
Spooky chanting. I kind of want to get that sorted out first. I can actually see it. It's weird.
Yeah, that sounds really fucked, actually, to be honest.
Owen.
Yeah.
The skin.
Yeah.
Do they look like they could fit the description of either a male dwarf, a female half-elf, a male dragonborn, or a female Maloran?
Would you like to make me an investigation check, please, Luther?
I'm gonna use my monocle as well and have a look at the
advantage.
skin.
Your monocle. You mean your magnifying glass? Do you wear your magnifying glass as a monocle? Oh no, I'm happy for you to like homebrew it. It's a monocle that you put on.
Well, I have like my glasses.
Okay.
Maybe one of them might be like might have like a few lenses that I
can clip over. Yeah.
Clip over and then, like,
oh my god. Things. As an aside, I used to love prescribing those to people. The best. Because the calculation for them is really easy. Luther, 2216. Yeah, I mean, two of them are really torn apart. The one that Theodore tore into shreds, it's very hard to tell. As you look over them, some of these look to be very old. Two of them in particular look to be very, very old. But the one towards the south, right near Theodore's feet, the last one that you guys defeated, as you have a bit of a look at, the skin just looks a bit fresher. It doesn't have that grey, rotted kind of tanned texture. It looks a bit more pink and fresh. And as you examine it and look over it, this could be from a smaller creature. As you look at it, the skin's not quite as large. Possibly it could be from a dwarf or a halfling. And part of the hair's kind of torn off and missing, but it does seem to be a very bright red hair.
I hate that.
I sort of like hold back like a lump in my throat. Everybody, just gather around real quick. Maybe a quick little revelation I just come across. I think this might be a male dwarf cleric, Hjelmek Spirehand. Or Hjelmek.
Actually, sorry, you got a 22, not the 16. Sorry, it's with advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, with advantage.
As you look over it, you can see tangled up in some of the hair that is there is a symbol of Torm on a piece of probably silver or platinum. The symbol itself is a silver disc, and the symbol upon it that you can see is a gauntleted fist.
Damn. Yeah, no, I think this is our male dwarf friend from the Twin Moons, potentially. Probably. I'll take that symbol.
Yeah, you can add a Amulet of Torm to your inventory.
Clearly, his god
Jonor,
save him.
Jonor at that point looks at the ground, seeing this corpse, looks around, and then just casts mage armor onto himself.
I like that a lot. You watch as this. So yeah, actually, you've never cast mage armor. What does it look like for you? Because I know I previously have had a player in the past describe it as light that gathers around them, forming this like weave, and then that slowly fades, and then when they take a hit, it flares up in the shape of armor where they get hit. But yeah, how do you want to do it? I'm curious to hear how you describe mage armor.
Those who have played Halo 3, if you use a bubble shield, it's like a gold thing that pops out. So every time it's going to be like that on his body. So when he takes a hit, it sort of like bursts out a little bit and like shines.
Nice.
So it's a constant light glow, and when hit, activates.
Okay, that's really cool. Did we used to play Halo a lot when we were?
Yeah, Halo was on. There was LAN parties.
You played competitively, didn't you, for a bit?
I did go to one national Australian Halo competition. Yeah.
I thought I remembered that just then.
Yeah, it was fun. lots of fun characters.
I'm sure there were lots of fun characters.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I like that description a lot. Yeah, so it shines once and then what disappears, and then whenever you take a hit, it becomes visible again.
Yeah. And so there's like a 10, 15% like what's it called? Transparency. It's like a gold.
Oh yeah, so you can always see this light shining around you, and then when it takes it flares up and is visible. And then cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. And then like hexagons around you.
Oh yeah, hexagons that as well. Yeah,
cool. I can't remember what the bubble shield looks like in Halo, so in my mind I picked it.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that is it. Okay, cool, nice. All right, amazing. That's really cool. Yeah, you watch as you begin summoning this magic around you. The shimmer goes
starts
across.
out and shrinks on.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's like this full bubble and comes. That's really cool. Yeah. You just see Jonor do this, protect himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that might be fair, mate. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I turned myself back into a bear.
I'm not getting used to that. That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it's almost as creepy as those things sort of coming to life. Sort of...
Am I going to have to rename this creature from a Bayon to a Bjelk?
No.
Okay.
Your thing. This is, I think
we'll
this
call
is
it
more of
the
Okay.
This is in the campaign. You can't technically be like, you can't force us to say Bjelk.
Are you sure? No.
We don't know what it's called. I mean, I do because I'm from the Fae, but I haven't
God just sort of
yet.
parts like the ceiling of the cave and just like it's actually a Björnling.
I'm gonna have Strahd do it. If you say it wrong, Strahd's gonna come and correct you. No.
Okay.
You impudent peasants! It is pronounced Bayon, and then tears your head off. No.
Oh. So
pass over to you
I
guys.
think that is. I think we found one of the remains of the party we came to look for.
Well, how many does that leave us in? What we got to find now?
3.
3. All right.
At least for the Twin Moons, that's what we came here for. But there was that other adventuring party as well. But the Twin Moons is the one that we've been sent here for.
This little one doesn't have any tattoos on it that would constitute proving when we get back.
Well, I took the amulet that the amulet Torum. So
it's a pretty unique looking item. You think that might be enough to identify this person? Yeah.
Lovely. All right. Well, no point fucking standing around. This is.
By all means, let's carry on, and just be careful, Grinner. Just use that.
No, we
Don't
just
make any
came this
clanking
way,
sounds.
mate.
Don't make any clanking sounds to the crowbar, but just lightly, just press down.
Lufa, thank you, mate. I'm so grateful for your insight.
I'm not even going to have a deception check rolled. You know he's not telling the truth. You would detect the careful, subtle hint of sarcasm there.
Jonor will then say, good idea. That's smart.
Grinner will just hear, it's alright, just thinking of your safety and such. It's whatever. Like, don't worry about it. Fall in a pit trap for life. Freaking care.
Can we think about this for a second? Why would there be a pit trap down here? Like, weren't people using these tunnels? Like, didn't they say they had guests coming over and stuff? Why would they have a pitfall trap? That just seems stupid inside a house. Like, what if the kids wandered down?
Like a dark, evil cult, and the parents locking their kids up. Maybe
they locked their kids
so they didn't
up.
fall in any pit traps.
Right, can you lot please shut the fuck up? All right, we're trying to be quiet and all this nattering in my ear. Yeah, what he said. Further south or to the east? Owen, where's that chanting coming from? South.
East, I would say at this point, takes you back into the room with the carrion crawler. There's also rooms down towards the southeast, but you guys don't seem too interested in any of that. So
I'm not interested in any of that you've written up.
Yep, thank you. So far, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms you guys haven't shown any interest in.
I will just say, before we keep going down, we might find... There's more rooms over there. We might find remains of the party. It's up to you guys at the end of the day.
I'm happy to hold down the fort right here in these stairs if anyone wants to go have a quick little gaze before we keep on going. Just a little in and out, you know, the little 1-2.
So we could check it out, but there could be creatures being summoned down there. I can't see it anymore. I've lost my magic deck, but we can always come back.
Right. Well,
Sounds like they just summoned a cat down there.
demon cat. It's party rules, you lot. I'm not the leader. I'm just in the front because I take the fucking hits. What are we doing?
Just intrinsically, like habitually, Jonor then turns to Luther because he's just always knows like what to do in the investigations. Luther, what do you think on this one? Do we check out the bad guys or the creepy noise?
It's quite a predicament we're in. Like, if we can keep going further down and stop the chanting at its source. But then by saying that, I'm not sure. You know, it's really hard to say. I think it could go either way, really, in this one. Because if we leave it for too long, maybe some of the evidence that we could have found might have been tampered with.
Right. Well, tell you what.
I don't know.
Tell you what. And I pull out one of the silver coins that I just picked up. How about I flip this? Heads we go down. The other one, what's that? Tails, I suppose. We go into the rooms. What do you reckon?
Alright, let's leave it a chance.
Tails it is, into the rooms, lads. And Tithla, sorry, love.
Wait, did you legit flip a coin?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
I actually heard it on the mic.
I was going to say, because I can flip one in Roll20, but you got this. Not Tails. Wait, so what was Tails again? Do we go look at the rooms?
Yeah, that's right. Back into the rooms.
Oh, okay.
Nice and slow.
Well, how,
Luther. Oh, yeah.
Do you lot want me in front, or Luther, you got this, mate?
I mean, by all means, if you want to come forward and just, like I said, use the crowbar to sort of move.
Yes, I heard
Ahead
you
of
the first time, mate. I'm on it. It's all right. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Tappy, tappy, gentle, gentle. Here we are.
As you move into this area here, Grinner, you can see that the tunnel is branching out and moving towards two different locations. One to the north you've already explored. There's another tunnel heading down towards the south, and then a tunnel heading towards the east. It looks like the tunnel heading towards the south loops back around on itself again, heads down to an area much further below. The tunnel to the east opens up into a large room just out of sight from where you are, but the glimpse you can see into the room, you think you can see what look to be chained up bodies up against the wall.
Can I do a little sniffy sniff to see if I can smell anything on the air that would give any more detail?
Yes, and you have advantage on this because it is relying on your sense of bear smell. 19.
19, that's good.
Or natural 1. No.
Come on, second one comes.
Sometimes natural 1.
Whoa,
Oh
it was a natural 1.
I think I am God. I don't have a God complex.
Brother DM,
I don't have a God complex. I am God. So as you have a bit of a sniff, Theodore, in your bear form, the scent of decay comes from the area towards the east. Towards the south, you catch a scent of something else, almost a smell of a almost like wet dog.
That's weird.
I gesture to the east. We were looking for bodies, and sort of give a for down south.
For podcast listeners, the bear on its front paw leg lifts one paw up and pulls across its throat like a dagger slicing. Going, what was that? What was that noise again? Sorry. That's what you hear and see.
All right. Well, I think we checked that one first for sure.
Yeah, I think we go that way. I think that's what Theodore was trying to tell us. Either that or he's got a scratchy throat or something.
I pop myself in the south passage and sort of just stand there as a guard with Tithla on my back.
All right. Hey, Luther.
I have my crossbow raised, like
Other side,
falling behind you.
Luther, look at this, mate. Look at this. And I just really exaggeratedly start using the crowbar in front of me as I walk forward.
Grinner, as you tap the crowbar, no sections of the floor collapse underneath you, nothing seems to happen. As you look into this room, you can see... Let me open it up. This room is festooned with mouldy skeletons hanging from rusty shackles against the wall. A wide alcove in the east contains an altar covered with a deep red cloth. Sitting on the altar are various bowls and platters containing offerings of some sort. And sitting on the pedestal above the altar is a large crystal orb made of an opaque white gemstone. As you move into the room and look, you can see that 2 of the skeletons chained to the wall are not skeletons. They appear to be rotting bodies, still animated and moving every so often as they are chained to the wall, occasionally sort of grunting.
They're zombies.
Not zombies. The skin is grey, their flesh tattered but not rotten. These look more like ghouls.
And do they look even remotely similar to the people we're searching for?
These look to be humans of some sort. Probably one male, one female. I'll put a picture in for you so that you can see. They're definitely not zombies. I mean, the grey skin, clawed hands and feet. They probably were once humans, but not anymore.
Right, well, that's a little fucked. Good thing they're chained up. Let's go.
So the only thing that could be roughly is like the half-elf female.
Maybe,
But
yeah.
if they're humans, then
No pointed ears. You can see the ears are humanoid, this rounded humanoid.
I don't think that we really want to be unchaining them and doing anything with them, do we?
Look, I think we need to put them out of their misery. This isn't living.
Well, they don't look that miserable, to be honest. It's hard to tell what the fuck they look like. All right. Can I wander down?
Yep, go.
I'm just going to wander down to the bottom one and wait for Luther to come in and everyone else to come in. And
yeah, as you pass the shrine, Grinner, you can see the bowls contain what looks to be flesh, fur, and teeth. Very sharp-looking canine teeth.
Do these 2 creatures have their teeth?
Yeah, they do.
What was the statue again? Sorry.
Not a statue, just an altar. An altar
altar,
covered with a
an
red
altar.
cloth with offerings on the surface.
Okay.
Bowls containing, as I said, scraps of flesh, scraps of fur, and some what look to be like canine teeth. The sharper, slightly curved teeth.
These guys are chained up, so they can't
Chained to
really
the
move.
wall. Yeah.
You might want to look away, Jonor. This is not going to be pretty.
It is not. And I hold the crowbar up and kind of examine it.
Oh yeah, this looks like it's a heavy weapon.
I pull out my silvered short sword.
Yeah. You guys, I'm going to tell you now, these things are chained. I'm going to not even have you guys roll. You can just end these creatures' suffering.
Full Inglorious Bastards on my one.
Oh, jeez.
I'm doing it like respectfully. Like I even do probably a little prayer first to Lathander. Is it Lathander again? Or
Lysander. Lysander's the female.
Lysander.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in Nostea, Lysander is a female goddess called Lysander. I just gender swapped some of the goddesses and gods
That's
just
cool.
so
That's
they're
cool.
roughly an even number.
I'll do like a little prayer to Lysander. I'll do like a little like Domino Parchis, but not like something along those lines.
Resquiatatu.
To Lysander.
Actually, it'd be Resquiacat in what's sun in Italian? Rest in the sun,
sure.
right? Like for Lysander.
But actually, everyone, I don't know if you could hear. I know how to speak Celestial, so I'll probably be doing this in Celestial actually.
Jonor, you hear this and you understand it.
Yep.
And then I respectfully
Just lower the sword through the top of the head.
maybe
Through the chest in the gap between
probably
the ribs.
through the
Pierce
chest into the heart.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't know if these creatures have a beating heart, but as you push the sword in and then push it in, this creature goes... And then slowly the muscle twitches become less and less, and then it collapses around the sword. It's still held up by the chains, but the body just goes limp, and as you pull the sword out, this dark Icarus blood covers the surface of it. You whack it off and then clean the blade.
Whack it off.
And then I look to the left.
You know, like give it a... Oh, no,
What a
I see what you're
send-off.
doing. I see what you're doing. Oh, Jesus.
I look to the left as we see Grinner just absolutely apologizing this thing.
Yeah. Grinner, you just cave this thing's skull in and just be done with it. It's every time you hit it, its legs twitch as you just begin whacking away, and then eventually the body grows still, and you just give it 1 or 2 more whacks for good measure. Luther, as you look over, there probably was a head on this thing once, but all you can see is the lower jaw and then a bloodied mess all across the top of the front.
Oh, perfect. Thanks. Now I can't really ID the body.
Well, yeah, true, but you did tell me to use the crowbar, and I listened.
I guess that is a good point. You could have just, no, you know what? That's fine.
Jonor vomits a little bit just on the corner, seeing that.
Jonor, I told you not to look. God
crashing.
damn it.
No, he just the grim thing. You can't look away, and he just into the doorway passage.
Has anything
So,
happened down
just
the
to-
passage? Oh, sorry.
yeah, sorry.
You go.
Sorry, I've just realized my microphone was muted for a few seconds there. Sorry, on the stream. So Theodore and Tithla, you haven't really heard too much going on from the room beyond towards the south. You've heard a bit of the clunking as they've whacked away at this thing. Probably the sound of Jonor quietly retching, but with both of your passive perceptions, you do hear at the sound of Grinner beating this thing's head in, a very low, almost faint, echoey bark that you heard before. That definitely wasn't my dog barking. Yeah, you heard it before. You do actually hear that though, and a very soft growl.
Right.
Coming from the south, I should say. Was that you?
So-
Was that you, Theodore?
Well-
Shake your head. Oh, I was afraid you'd say that or act that.
So this altar, it has no particular...
No
iconography,
iconography, no statues, just this silver pedestal. No, I shouldn't say silver, just this metal pedestal. This opaque white crystal gemstone, roughly about the size of a clenched fist, sitting on the pedestal, and then these bowls containing what look to be ritual offerings. A few scraps of fur, a few bits of flesh, and then a couple of canine teeth.
Resemble any sort of cult or religious ceremony I would be aware of?
Jonor, give me a religion check, please, or history check, your choice. It's a good question. 21.
Nice.
Jonor, as you look over this doesn't resemble any religious ceremony you've seen at first. And then as you reflect more and you begin to sort of think about the symbolism of the items on the table. Sometimes offerings are made to the gods of food. Flesh might be taking the place of that. Sometimes offerings are made to the gods of items of value. Maybe that could be the teeth. And then sometimes offerings are made of prayers written on paper. That might be where the fur's coming in as you think about it. And then as you think a bit more, you look and you see that that's probably wolf fur. And the teeth as well. As I said, they're not just canine teeth. They are literal canine teeth. These are the canine teeth from a canine, from a dog or from a wolf. You get the sense that these aren't just offerings. These are potentially requests. Take some of this. Use it to give me some of this. Something transactional here. Whatever it is, shiver runs up your spine. You don't like this. And that orb, that crystalline orb, this milky white crystalline orb sitting on the pedestal, you get a bad vibe from it. Doesn't feel good.
As he's looking at it, I'll probably put my hand on his shoulder from behind and be like, you know how you can cast that spell? I'm not sure exactly, like something about magic or something that you can detect things. It might not be a bad idea using it on that orb.
This thing, I reckon there's some sort of transaction going on here. It's you've got all these things being offered, and maybe the crystal does, the communication between whoever's doing the work. I might start casting detect magic.
Do you think it's worth disrupting this if we, make a bit of a mess, get all this shit off the table?
Let's I was just going to say... Oh, sorry.
You go on.
I was just going to say, maybe just see what he gets from Detect Magic first, and that might be a possibility. What were we going to say, Jonor? Sorry?
Would I know that if you move items from a ritual, would it cancel the spell? Or...
Might do. Might also trigger another effect as well. You know that sometimes spells can be triggered by certain actions and the removal of certain components. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. He just sort of like says, don't touch these things. You could bite back, or just hold on for a minute, and then starts. He would also call over Theodore. Theodore, is this wolf bits? And then he starts casting.
Theodore can't respond with words per se, but as you can run Theodore into the room if you wanted to have a bit of a look and like nod or shake your head.
Oh, you called out to me?
Yeah, he called out to ask, are these wolf parts? Can you have a look?
I come in, give him a sniff, and I also want to see if they smell like what I smelt from down that other corridor.
Theodore, these are definitely... I'm not going to have you roll because you've rolled a couple of perception checks and you would know the smell of wolf. Yes, this is definitely... These are wolf parts. There's wolf fur, wolf flesh, and wolf teeth. No, the smell from down the other room, it doesn't have that musk, that natural musk that wolves have. The scent of... it's hard to describe because wolves do have a different smell to dogs. They've got this sort of oil in their coats that gives them this very pungent smell. This is different. The smell from down that corridor definitely more smells like dog to you. There's a difference in your mind. You can't quite put your bare claw on what it is, but there is a difference. This is wolf. I'd say, Jonor, we can have you have started that Detect Magic when you were in the corner throwing up quietly if you like, just for the purposes of speeding up a little bit. You cast Detect Magic using your ritual. This white crystal is emanating divination magic strongly.
Ooh, this one's a little bit like me. It's got a bit of a divination to it. So divination is sort of the seeing into the future and understanding things that may come, or understanding a bit more about it. That's it. What about the pieces on the?
No, nothing on the altar. But actually, there is one more thing you would get. Underneath the cloth, inside the altar, just this very faint necromantic energy from inside the altar. Not on top, but inside it.
Okay, like inside the actual structure, or just
inside the actual altar? No, inside the actual altar.
Okay, like smack bang in the middle, or around the side, around the back.
The entire internal section.
Yeah.
Slowly, the way you would see it is these wisps of shadow magic rising from inside. For the divination, it looks like little swirls of light every so often spinning around it. So let's actually, I'm going to describe each school of magic having a different visual effect, and that's what you see. So white swirls of magic for divination, black shadowy tendrils of smoke rising for necrotic. Evocation, just a fireball. Everyone knows that.
Oh, guys, don't touch this altar. I think it's got a bit of necro to it.
We should fucking break it then.
Look, this isn't my forte. This is yours, Jonor. If you want us to break it, we'll break it. But if you don't want us to break it, then no, let Grinner know that now, because he's I can see his hand itching with that crowbar.
Not only that, I hold the rock up in the other hand too.
Yeah. He would just naive. Yeah, it's a bad thing. Like, we should probably destroy it. I reckon take a step back and just hurl something at it.
So the rocket is then, by the sounds of it, Grinner.
All right. Yeah.
At the altar?
Theodore. Yeah. Where are you? You here yet?
I would have scooted back to the passage. I'm not letting that go unguarded with what I smelt down there.
Right.
He's watching our backs. We got this.
We're just going to keep an eye out for the dog. There's a dog down here. I'm going to call... He's going to be my pet.
There's a dog? What?
Yeah, we think there's a dog down here.
Okay. Well, I'll stay in this corridor here. Theodore, I'll let you know if we hear anything or we see anything. Grinner, whenever you're ready, I suppose.
All right, Jonor, get behind me, mate. I don't think that you want to be at the very front, do you? All right. No. Here goes nothing, and I just both hands raise the rock above my head and slam it into the top of the altar.
The altar?
Yep.
Okay. Grinner, As you slam this rock down on the altar, the bowls scatter, the tablecloth cracks, and this massive sounds. Shadow begins leaking from the altar, and you watch as the gemstone, the opaque milky white, fades, and you see an eye looking out from inside the eye. This black eye, but with a slit pupil as it stares out. Shadow begins leaking from inside the altar as around Grinner.
I don't like that. Do not like that.
Two dark shapes rise from the shadow, making this horrific noise, this as they rise around you, Grinner. They don't attack immediately, just rising up and then hovering in place, ripples of air moving across them as if wind was rustling these long strips of cloak, but no wind falls inside the chamber.
Jonor, what the fuck is that? Jonor?
He's kind of just like frozen and he's like, oh, bad.
Yeah, fucking bad, mate. What the fuck? And
Grinner, maybe let's just start vacating this room. Jonor, I sort of start dragging Jonor out. Grinner, maybe you just slowly walk backwards.
well,
Yeah, I take a step backwards.
Yep. Jonor, as you take a step backwards, the shadow sort of turns its head slowly and looks at you. You can see these eye sockets with darkness, this smoke leaking from them as it turns towards you. The mouth sort of opens ever so slightly. You. As it looks at you.
What did it say?
You're not sure. Hard to make out.
Okay.
Didn't sound like it was in English. Or common,
Jonor,
I should say.
They're fucking talking. Jonor, what the fuck?
Yeah, let's get out of here. Just leave him be. It's fine. Yeah, get away.
Can I do anything right now on?
Yeah, you can. I've not thrown you into initiative yet, so you can.
Cool. Can I grab that crystal with the eye and just lob it at the wall as hard as
Grinner,
I can?
As soon as you touch
Oh,
the crystal,
no.
you feel this pull as energy crackles across your skin. The rest of you watch as light begins shining. The eye that appeared, this dark black eye in the center of the gemstone, disappears. Grinner, you find yourself pulled out of your body, not really aware of what's going on around you as you feel yourself falling through blackness. And then suddenly you find yourself running through the snow. Wolves on either side of you, padding through as they chase down this deer. And you're one of them, running with these wolves as they run towards this large antlered deer. You leap up, clamp your jaws around its throat and tear into it, warm blood flowing across your mouth and skin and tongue. You taste that sweet, sweet taste as your fellow team, your fellow pack tear into this thing and rip into it, growling and snarling. The buck makes this wounded cry and you grip tighter, severing into its vocal cords, cutting through flesh as it falls still, gasping for air beneath your bite. What would you like to do?
I'm going to rip its throat out.
Tear into it. The deer sort of bucking and swaying. That's about 6 seconds for you. Jonor and Luther, you watch as soon as Grinner touches this, he goes extremely still, eyes wide, hand outstretched as the shadows turn and start reaching towards him, one of them slowly caressing down his face as it then begins reaching into his body.
Okay.
I'm going to throw us into initiative now.
Yeah, okay.
Although we are actually at 2 hours and 30 minutes, I'm actually going to do an even bigger dick move. I'm going to get you to roll initiative, and then we're going to start off at the beginning of next turn for next session. So roll your initiative, because I want to have it in initiative order. I'll roll for Tithla.
Oof.
I'm going to use my free action before we start to just to say, Theodore, you might want to get in here now. Tithla as well.
Yeah.
We've got a situation.
Yeah,
I
does
think I
that give me
fucked
like a plus 18 to initiative by any chance?
What does it say for the Beyondling? It's a +1.
No, I mean the call in. Does that give me some kind of heavy bonus? Because I don't like my 4.
That's a real shame you don't like it. Unfortunately, that's what you rolled. And
Damn.
because the thing is though, like as they call in, you're just like, oh okay, and then you come in. Like that's your. It's not really like it's if Jonor, for example, had foreseen this and gone, I can see this using my ability to substitute dice. Jonor might be able to use one of his one of his
rolls.
dice, one of his portents. Thank you, one of his portents. To swap that would allow you to have a better roll potentially, but that's up to Jonor.
But I have to do it before the roll happens.
Oh, do you?
He does.
I think portent
It's
is
not
a
retroactively.
foresight.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense that it'd be proactive. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Awesome. Well, that's where we're going to end. As Grinner, you're running through the snow, tearing into this antler deer.
Damn, we
with
should
your
have touched
teeth.
the altar.
I think I might have fucked up here,
One
boys.
session without doing something ridiculous.
I think I might have fucked it up here.
I think we should have just been like, you know what? The altar is fine as it is.
It's not doing anything bad. Why do I have to go investigate these rooms?
Yeah, right. Fucking coin.
We've got to
flip.
find the evidence.
Oh my goodness.
Necromancy is bad. He's got to get rid of necromancy. That's how he understands.
We need to
wizardry.
find the party members, but not touch really weird altars.
Well, I kind of figured smash the eye, everything goes away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But you didn't do that. You smashed the altar and then you grabbed the eye. That
Yeah.
the order you did things was very important for this happening.
Very wrong.
No, not wrong. There
Well,
was.
that's it,
I'll
we
tell you
don't
right
know.
now. I'll tell you right now. There was fucking with the altar, deciding to muck around with this. There's really no. I mean, I was open to the idea of what you guys would say, but I couldn't come up with the right way to dick around with this thing in my mind. Like
It was
there was
always
no
gone
way. Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
Messing with this wasn't ever really going to work out as far as I could come up with, but I was open to you guys doing something I hadn't thought of. Like, for example, Dispel Magic might have been really spicy, and that would have been pretty interesting to see how that goes down.
None of us can cast that.
No, unfortunately not. So, but no, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for joining us. We will be back again with more Curse of Strahd next Monday, same time, same place. Until then, Tyranny of Dragons is on Wednesday night as we approach, as I've said every time, the final few sessions of the Tyranny of Dragons campaign. Really getting into the meat and bones. The group in Tyranny of Dragons are currently exploring Dromethion, the Ganassi city in the Elemental States, attempting to locate a flesh sculptor. Sounds super legit. And a bit of a horror theme as well. And this is all on them. I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with this. I just dropped the hint that there might be the rumor of a flesh sculptor, and they just grabbed onto that. I didn't even tend to bait that hook. I just was like, oh, and there's a flesh sculptor, and they're like, oh, a flesh sculptor, you say?
I have some flesh in the sculpting.
I have flesh that needs.
Ah.
I have flesh that needs
One
sculpting.
of the characters has like another character of
They're
theirs.
trying to save
that,
who's
like,
dead. Well, not
yeah.
dead, but yeah.
Not dead, but like in another realm. It's like a spirit. It's really. You need
It's
to go
very
and watch
complicated.
it.
Yes, it's very complicated. But no, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. I can see chat saying no cliffhanger. Yes, cliffhanger. Every time. If I can
It is
help it, I will
cliffhanger.
try and end on a cliffhanger. Every time if I can help it. Because it keeps you coming back for more, you thirsty little fucks. So we will be back again. We will be back
Firmly
again.
Australian rating.
Yeah. Australians getting out. We will see you all again next Monday for more Curse of Strahd, Wednesday for Tyranny of Dragons, and Saturday morning for my Pokemon Violet stream. Jared, you've got Pokemon Violet. Do you want to join me for Pokemon Violet?
The Scarlet. I do have Scarlet.
You got
I might
Scarlet,
jump
that's
on.
right. You do you want to jump on Saturday morning?
Yeah,
We've got
let's see
Archie,
how it
so
goes.
there's two of us 100%. If you join, that's 3.
I
Has, you've got
won't be at
Pokemon.
won't be at
Tom,
my
you've got
house
Pokemon?
though, because I won't. So we won't be. Like,
Sorry.
yeah, I'll see how it goes
Just jump
because
in.
I'll be at Andrew's
Yeah, that's fine.
house looking after it.
How are you looking after the puppers again?
Yes.
How are Thor, Buffy, and Xena doing?
Oh,
I miss them. I miss them a lot.
Always so
Oh,
cute.
They're really so that they're all so Thor and Xena are both toy poodles, but Buffy's a cavoodle. They got at the same time we got our cavoodle. So they were like little friends growing up. They're like little playmates. These two cavoodles, and we like taught them to swim together at Altona Beach. And so yeah, I do miss them, and I know Lumi misses Buffy as well.
Aww.
I know.
And Buffy's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she is. She
They're
really
all
is.
sweethearts, but Buffy's like never barks. She's just really nice.
No, Buffy's super chill. Sorry, more about doggos. We will see you guys all again later. Stay safe, stay well until we see you guys next. And I hope you have a very spoopy evening. Catch you guys later. See you next time, everybody. Bye.
See you guys.